Yo, what is up? Welcome back to our channel. God, I suck. Welcome back to our stream. Okay, now today I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna react to fully. I know one video, but they'll save it for last because you probably see the title. Why does it say my stream is scheduled for right now? Oh, never mind. It's not scheduled. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's just immediately start. Okay, so this video right here. Her one-star acting was almost bad as her evil plan. I think, what? This was 2 years ago? Have I really been wanting to watch this for 2 years? I don't know. This is like a huge problem with me, is that like I've lost track of time first off, and second off, it's like, um,
And nine.
I just like, dude, like I have so many videos I see that I want to watch and I never watch them. This is the problem I watch later. It's full of videos that I want to watch, but I never actually watch them because I never actually watch my watch later. And my number has increased in my watch later. Let me know if you have that problem, actually, because I don't know if everyone else has that problem or it's just me. That I just put off watching videos that are interesting. I don't know. It's such a weird problem. Anyways,
The popular true crime TV show Cops just happened to be in South Florida filming when a truly diabolical crime was committed there. And so cops captured this crime on camera. But someone in their footage was hiding something. And when you know what that something was, it becomes very obvious when you watch. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once or twice every week. So if that's
by the way, if you're ever like looking for a podcast, right? You're just like, dude, I want a podcast style video that's interesting. I think this is probably the best channel on the entire, like for the whole podcast genre. Like, he technically doesn't make podcasts, but like, you can definitely listen to these videos. I gotta say, dude, I don't think there's any other real like this guy. I don't know how he did it. Like, he just makes the best videos. Like, it's crazy. I'm meat riding. I need to stop. But I think it's deserved. Like, he's just got crazy. So I'm expecting great stories, my point.
of interest to you, please ask the like button if you can borrow their car for the week, and then when they say yes, spend that week driving around picking up as much roadkill as possible and packing it into their trunk. Picking up as
What?
much roadkill as you possibly can and pack it into their back seat in their trunk and then return the car. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's story. Michael DiPolito grew up in a very rough neighborhood in South Philadelphia where
Okay, does that say Diddy? I've brain rot, dude. I don't even know if that's brain rot. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's just, I need to move on. Okay. I think it
violence,
does move on.
drugs, and prostitution were just normal parts of everyday life. At a young age, like his parents, Michael became an alcoholic. He also developed a very serious drug addiction that he paid for by selling drugs. Michael would eventually
Ooh.
drop out of high school, and not long after that, he became homeless and was living out on the streets, sleeping in abandoned buildings at night to stay
You know what I
warm.
never understood, and it's gonna sound ignorant. Well, it's probably good because I'm a safe kid. I'm raised up in the suburbs. Sheltered from evil. You could say. Basically, how does one? Okay, I don't want anyone telling me, by the way, that would be bad. But how does one, obtain like drugs to sell, right? Like you think like, oh, do they make them? There's no way that all the people who sell drugs, right, are just making the drugs. Like they have to be getting them from somewhere. The question is where. And like the other question is, okay, this probably I don't want this answered. Okay. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know if it's even legal, but how do you find a drug dealer, right? Do you just like roam the streets and be like, "Hey, you selling anything?" To anyone who looks like he's selling things? I don't know. I don't know. It really confuses me how people find these things. But you know what? I don't plan on doing that stuff, so I don't really need the answers. Be nice to know the answers, but I don't plan on getting a drug dealer because they're too expensive. Okay, that's not even the reason. All right, move on.
In 1993, when Michael was still in South Philadelphia, he was arrested for the first time. He was charged with possession of an unknown drug as well as intent to distribute this unknown drug. Court records don't specify what drug this was. However, Michael just did not show up for court, and so a warrant was put out for his arrest. Michael would somehow manage to evade police capture, and by 1997, he had fled South Philly altogether and landed in South Florida in a town called Boca Raton. Shortly after arriving there, Michael was arrested for a second time, this time for offering an undercover police officer $15 in exchange for sex. Michael would plead
What? That's illegal? What? Oh, because prostitution? Is prostitution illegal? Oh, God. I know people are gonna be like, oh. I know people are gonna hate on me for that, cause I think it is, but I don't even know. I really have no idea, cause I guess again, I don't pay attention to these things. I'm not looking. Ooh, what's the laws? I'm assuming it is, but that's how do you accidentally like do that to a police officer? I've never understood how you could pretend like usually like I'd say fake cops are usually obvious like when they're trying to get you to do things that are illegal. I feel like you have to be an idiot to actually like give a fake cop something illegal or do something illegal with them. So I don't know. It's just like, how does that happen? How does that happen? The odds are so against him. This guy is just got bad odds.
guilty to soliciting prostitution. However, he would just get released. A year after the prostitution arrest, Michael was sued by a former girlfriend named Karen Tan, who claimed he was the father of her son, and so he owed her child support.
Oh.
And Karen had a DNA test that backed up this claim. However, Michael, again, would just not show up for court, and before long, Karen just gave up and dropped the lawsuit.
What?
Michael was likely very relieved when this happened, because at the time, he was making almost no money through a temp agency. And
I
so
mean, yeah, well, now if you think about it, if he went to court, right, and he showed up, he'd have to pay the court fees potentially, and also, like, how are they gonna make him pay money if he has no money? I guess they'd force him to get a job or something? I don't even know if that's possible. Dude, what is this guy doing? He's just like, okay, I don't get it. Wait, how did he even move to Florida? I have no idea. I guess I forgot to listen to that
so
part.
after this lawsuit gets
This
dropped,
is,
Michael
I am the worst reactor. That's just official, bro. I forgot to listen. You don't say that when you're, okay. You don't say those words when you're reacting to something. Like, that's not something you say. Ah, God. I don't know. But this guy, I don't know. I didn't know you could just, like, avoid the court and just get away with it. I mean, I think how it works, by the way, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, is that basically you have a warrant for your arrest, but, like, if the police never, like, find you actively, you're never gonna, I think, it depending on how severe it is, you don't actually get chased down, like, they're not hunting for you. Because I always see these cop videos of, like, hey, they have a warrant for this person's arrest, and they just pull over a guy, and like, oh, he has a warrant. Like, you'd think, oh, if there's a warrant, then in theory he should just be hunted down to his house, right? But I guess it's not that serious. I don't get it. I never understood how people get pulled over and they're like, oh yeah, you have a warrant. I don't get it.
decides, I need to go out and make some real money. And somehow, on his quest to find a more lucrative opportunity, Michael was introduced to associates of the Bonanno family. And the Bonanno family is one of the infamous 5 families that dominates organized crime across the United States.
What?
They are literally the Italian mafia. And after the mafia met Michael, they took a liking to him.
What?
And they did offer him a more lucrative, albeit illegal, opportunity. They gave him a role inside one of their so-called boiler rooms. A boiler room is not literally a boiler room. Instead, it's a group of fraudsters that use high-pressure sales tactics to steal money from unsuspecting victims. Typically, the way it works is the fraudster will cold call someone and they will tell them that they have this great get-rich-quick scheme, but you gotta give me your money right now if you want to be a part of it. And so when the victim says, okay, that sounds great, and they wire the money along, the fraudster
my
just
God.
steals their money. Michael, who was very charismatic and a natural salesman,
I think the problem with people, with money at least, the whole get quick rich, right? Get rich quick. Oh my God. Okay. My brain's fried, confirmed. The whole quick rich thing, problem with that is 99% of times in life, you're not going to get rich quick. All those methods like, ooh, do the side hustle, it makes hundreds of $1,000s. Yeah, it's like playing GTA, right? All the best methods are probably already like known and abused, so then they don't. Well, I mean GTA, that's not really the case, but they nerf. Well, with GTA, for example, with heists, it's like all the best heists get nerfed to the ground. So they're like, they're okay. You know, in real life, it's like eventually, it's like if something gets talked about, right? It's like odds are it's been done to the ground, and there's not really, you know, an easy way to make money off that method anymore because everyone rushed to it. The best way to make money is to do something original, honestly, that is like actually like great, and then hope for, I don't know, hope that investors actually like your idea. I don't know. I don't know how to make money because if I did, obviously I'd be in a situation where I'd be rich. But like the point is, don't just fall for those. Hey, get quick rich, get quick, get rich quick. God, get quick. Okay, get rich quick. Stop. Get rich quick schemes. You know, it just they're bad. It's stupid. Because everyone's so desperate for money, basically, is what I'm trying to say. That they don't think logically. They're like, ooh, millions, ooh. Also, I hate that people. Okay, this is a side note. I hate how people, and this includes me, are nowadays like talking like, oh, you only have $5 million, bro. Like people like they overvalue money completely. They're like, oh, if you only have $1 million, bro, you're broke, kind of situation, or get your money up. It's like, dude. Not only did most people never have $1 million, but also it's like, dude, $1 million? That's equivalent. If you had $1 million in your savings right now, not even savings, your checking account, right? You could legitimately survive for 10 years, assuming you spend $100,000 a month and nothing, no like huge crises happen, right? But no, people are stupid and they spend that money fast and whatnot. I don't know. If when you put it in that perspective, you realize, wow, $1 million, if you had $1 million, you're set. Like, dude, wow. But you know, everyone falls to the trap of thinking, oh, $1 million is nothing. I want more, 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 more. It's like you're never actually gonna get that, and you need to value money more. Okay.
got really good at tricking people into giving him their money. And so eventually, Michael
Got good
realized
at it?
he could
Oh.
make a lot more money if he started his own boiler room where his commission could be much higher on the money he stole. And so, fairly abruptly, he left the mafia's boiler room. We don't really know how they reacted to this. And Michael would set up not one, but two boiler room scams of his own in South Florida. And by 2002, he had pocketed $155,000 of stolen money. However, he had spent virtually all of it on fancy hotels
Oh
and
my
cars
God. And
and
this is
phone
what I'm
sales.
talking about, bro. People I say this as if I wouldn't do this. I don't know. But like people make so much money and they just instantly spend it and then they go broke. I've watched all these financial videos, right, of like people who like have no money because they just spend all their money. Every time it's like they get their paycheck and they just spend it. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you get a paycheck or you get a check and you just immediately go, I'm gonna buy everything? Like, what? Do people not think in the future? I really want to know how people spend their money. I don't know. As someone who doesn't spend a lot of money, I don't get it. Don't get it.
Sex. But the good times would not last for Michael because in 2002, the police caught on to Michael's boiler room scams and they raided them, and Michael was arrested for a third time, except this time he would go to court, he would stand trial,
Hmm.
and he would be sentenced to 2 years in prison, 28 years of probation, and he would be ordered to pay back the
Ooh.
$155,000 that he
Yeah,
stole.
he's cooked.
Michael would only serve 7 months of his 2 year jail sentence, but that was more than enough to leave a huge impact on him. Michael hated prison. He hated every second of it. And so during those long sleepless nights that he was laying awake in his cell, he made a promise to himself that when he got out, when he was released, he would never, ever come back. And so in 2003, when he was released,
Watching Hall on VR 5 days in a row. What do you mean 5 days in a row? I haven't even streamed in like the last like 3 days. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I don't sure. Okay. Nah, but like, dude, this is interesting because for a lot of people, for some reason, prison doesn't seem to be a deterrence for some reason. I feel like prison for a lot of people doesn't seem to be like a good enough like consequence to their actions. I don't know why. Like you see all these people going to prison, they get out and they immediately just commit more crimes. I'm like, at least for me, as a normal, innocent white kid, adult, who's, in the suburbs, prison, that's not for me, Just had to point that out, in case you couldn't identify that I've never been to prison. That's enough of a deterrence to do anything illegal besides maybe speed. Like, it's about all I do, and you don't go to prison for speeding, so, you know. You should start one of these boiler rooms. They sound profitable. Okay, bro. India already took over all of that market. Okay, that's all right. That's a little bit uncalled for, but it's kind of true. I mean, how in modern day really do you think a boiler room would work? I guess it would. I don't know. It's like everyone see. I mean, at least the younger. See, the problem is the older generations. All the younger generations are blissfully aware of like, hey, this is a problem. Then they know when a scam's a scam. But all the older people, well, they just be forking up their money to like 10,000 different scams. You should try it. No, I'm not gonna try it. I'm a good man, Gonna earn my money the right way. Also, yeah, and then if you get caught, your life is not over, but you're gonna be under super surveillance. Okay, it has no super in there. It's just surveillance. You're gonna be under surveillance for like 20,000 years.
He immediately entered a sobriety program. He also started going to the gym every morning, and he began studying for his GED, which is a high school equivalency test because he didn't get his high school diploma. After he
Wow.
successfully earned his GED a couple of months later, he would also start a legal business. It was a digital marketing firm that was called Mad Money Inc. Over the next several years, Michael would do his very best to stay on the straight and narrow and not get in trouble, and for the most part, he did that.
I
By
mean, the most
2008,
part.
Michael was still sober despite a few setbacks, and he was still very focused on his physical fitness and his health, and his business, Mad Money, was doing quite well, earning him
How much?
nearly $100,000 a year. But
Ooh, that's pretty solid. Well, see, $100,000. But oh, this reminds me, dude. Bowling alleys, bro. I found out bowling alleys make like no money at all. Makes me depressed. Like if you're an owner of a bowling alley, you're basically making like no money because you have to all the money you get, you just pay it straight to. I mean, this is true for a lot of businesses. You just like you assume that all these businesses, like all these restaurants and stuff, are like, oh, they're making a lot of money. No, they're not. They're not making as much money as you think, and a lot of the money they make, they just pay straight to employees. It's the worst part. So like, oh, I'm the owner of a restaurant. Like, it's not as good as you think. Like this guy made $100,000 per year, but that's not his money. That's like he's probably gonna take like a fraction of that, and then the rest goes to the bills, and it just sucks. So he's not really making that much money, probably.
his love life had become a bit messy. Michael had gotten married back in 2007 to his longtime girlfriend named Maria Luongo, who had stood by him when he went to jail. But that year, in 2008, when Michael was 38 years old, he cheated on Maria with a 26-year-old real estate agent named Dalia Mohammed, who he met at a
Wait a
Starbucks.
second. I think I know the story. I think I know where this is going. Yeah, I think I know the story too well. Okay, I kind of. That sucks because I recognize the name. She's the woman who I believe tried to get the guy we've talked about the whole time murdered through an assassination attempt, but the police, again, she told a fake cop the whole plan. So then, yeah, okay. I don't know how that's possible, by the way. I don't know how you tell a fake cop you're planning on assassinating someone. I really don't know. This is not the story, by the way. I don't know what to say.
And instead of their affair being a quick fling, as they likely both intended it to be, Michael and Dahlia quickly fell in love. And when that happened, Michael went to his wife Maria and he told her, and then he divorced her. Just 3 days
Bro,
after the divorce finalized.
okay, this is the problem. The problem is you're dealing with both of them. Well, actually, it's mainly Michael really is the problem. This is a red flag, right? You divorced your wife to be with a cheater. Like, well, no. Well, I don't know what. Okay, never mind. Didn't he say that both of them cheated?
Real estate agent named Dalia Mohammed, who he met at a Starbucks. And instead of
I
their
don't know.
affair, quickly
I don't
fell
know.
in love. And when that happened,
I don't know. It's just like, dude, that's a red flag. If you're on the other side, right, your Dolly or whatever her name is, and you saw that this guy just willingly dumped his stupid wife to be with you, it's like, dude, why would you want to be with him? Because now it's like, oh, well, is he just gonna dump you for a random girl he sees at Home Depot? which is a very weird place, but you know, that's the first place that came to mind. I don't know, like, it's really weird that people just seem to be ignorant of this stuff because love, love, love.
Michael went to his wife Maria and he told her, and then he divorced her. Just 3 days after the divorce finalized, Michael and Dahlia went to the courthouse and they got married. The newlyweds would move into a brand new condo that Michael had purchased for them in Boynton Beach, which is a beautiful town in South Florida. And for a time, their life was perfect. They knew it was a little outrageous the way they had met each other and how quickly they had fallen for each other, but they didn't care. They got along great and they were excited about the future. But their perfect life would not last long. On the evening of March 12th, 2009, so only about a month after they had gotten married, Michael and Dahlia were at home in their condo when they heard a knock on the front door. And so Michael went to the door, he opened it up, and much to his surprise, standing on the other side was his probation officer, and behind him was a whole bunch of police officers.
Wait, why is he on probation for drugs? I don't know why. Wait, why did he? Oh, dude. Oh yeah, he got caught for. Wait, yeah. Why is he on probation? That doesn't even make sense. He's on probation because he committed a scam, right? He committed a scam. He stole a bunch of money. Okay, yeah, but why are you on probation? That doesn't even make sense for what? Actually, I don't know.
And before Michael could even ask what was going on, the probation officer told Michael that they had received an anonymous call tipping them off that Michael was selling steroids and ecstasy pills and other drugs out of his condo. Michael would tell the probation officer that there was no way that was true. He is not selling any drugs. He's sober. He's not doing that. And so eventually Michael just stepped aside and said, please come in, search my condo. I have nothing to hide. And so sure enough, the police, they would go into his condo, they would search it, but they wouldn't find anything and they would leave. And so after the police had gone, Michael and Dahlia found themselves just standing in their condo, completely dumbfounded. But instead of trying to get to the bottom of it right then and there about who had called and why, they just decided it was best for them to just leave their condo for the night and go stay at a nice hotel. And so they packed up some bags, they left their condo, which was a total mess from the police search, and they went to the hotel.
Okay, so isn't it illegal? No, it's not, is it? It is illegal to commit scam, well, not scam calls, like, you know, like fake calls to 911, like, you know, make a fake claim, right? I don't know what it's called. I know there's a word to it, right? So in theory, right, if the cops were actually good, they would just you know, go, "Oh, let's track who's calling," because fun fact, you can track who's calling you no matter what. You can legitimately have like, you know, you could use that star or whatever, 67 or whatever that. I have no idea what it is because I never was an evil kid. I don't know how many times I stressed that I was a white suburban kid, right? Well, white suburban kids actually usually did the prank calling. I never did. I found it stupid. But point is, whatever it is, star 67 or whatever it's called, that you could still get tracked from that, so it doesn't matter. So in theory, that this could all be stopped. Oh, I wonder who did it because I actually know who probably did it. It's probably the wife. I think that's how the story goes, but I don't know. Right? So then they would discover, hey, the wife did it, and suddenly, oh wow, why are you doing that? And then there's a lot of things like ooh, divorce, maybe arrests, I don't know. But instead, they decide to ignore it because it's obviously a fake call, like you know.
And they had a nice night together. The next morning, when they got up and headed down to the parking lot, they saw up ahead, standing around Michael's car, was Michael's probation officer as well as several other police officers. And so Michael and Dahlia are looking at each other like, what is this, again? And so they hustle on over to Michael's car, and before they can even plead their innocence to Michael's probation officer, he stops Michael and just says, look, we got another anonymous call, this time telling us that you are selling drugs out of your vehicle, and so we need to search it. And so Michael is just totally beside himself, but he says, look, go ahead, search it. There's nothing in the car. And so sure enough, the police would open up his car, they'd rip it apart, but again, they wouldn't find anything. Over the next couple of weeks, the only thing Michael and Dahlia ever wanted to talk about was what the heck was going on. Who is placing these anonymous calls claiming that Michael was selling drugs out of the condo?
Why are you talking about M's in your bank account? Okay. People be okay. I now see the problem is I actually like that. I don't like the song, but I use it to troll people. Dude, that song, by the way, the whole 21 Savage M's in my bank account. Let me tell you, it's the greatest way to make people think you're just like like just stupid. Just randomly in the middle of a conversation, be like, "Yeah, I got M's in my bank account. 1, 2, 3, 4." And then you just say the song, right, the hook, and suddenly everyone's like, whoa, whoa, this guy's delusional as hell, because, people are like, wow, you just randomly got money on the mind, but no plan. You just say, well, I got M's in my bank account this year, and then it's just like if you want to trick people or confuse people, it's the easiest way, really. Just randomly bust out the good old-fashioned 21 Savage song, and but like say it yourself. It's not really relevant to anything at all, so again, horrible reaction. There you go. Might be the world's worst reactor.
window and out of the car. It just didn't add up. They wanted to believe that this was all just one big mistake, but in the back of both of their minds, they were thinking about Michael's very checkered past and his previous dealings with the mafia and with people he had clearly ripped off. And so maybe there was someone in his past that was looking to get back at Michael and maybe get him arrested and sent back to jail. Fast forward to
Yeah,
March.
but if they wanted to, okay, let's be honest. If you're trying to get someone put in jail, the easiest way to do it is just swat them. That's I'll get like, call what do they call it? I know it's swatting, but that's not like what it is calling. Like, streamers have this happen all the time where, oh, there's someone getting shot in the house. I heard shots fired, and then boom. If someone wanted to actually get you like killed or like arrested or potentially like put in a situation that's just not optimal, right? Just tell them, hey, the house is got kidnapped. There's kidnaps. Okay, I cannot coherently form a sentence. It is really bothering me. Okay, let's try that again. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Okay, so this is the problem. Like, I'm so focused on like how stupid I'm sounding. No, the point is like basically just call a SWAT team to the house, get a SWAT team going, just tell him like, hey, he's armed and dangerous, and then maybe he makes a dumb move and he gets shot to death. The problem with saying that, by the way, is that's just I'm basically giving ideas to people, and no, I don't plan on doing that ever. I think people who SWAT streamers are weird because why would you? You know what? That's a good question. Why? What do you gain from supporting a streamer? Like all you're doing is just saying, hey, there's a like you just want the streamer to have a bad day. That's basically all you want. Like, dude, like I don't know, donate like $500 and spam this donation chat with like 20,000 T's if you want him to have a bad day. Don't just. I know $500 is excessive, but you could easily just donate $5 and spam the chat, right? I mean, who's gonna stop a man who's donating money from speaking? You know, he's not gonna mute you or ban you for donating. If he does, that's a bad streamer, by the way. You sound like expert on crime. Do you have past experience? I do not have. Okay, dude, this guy's trolling me today. I'm not stupid. I literally have identified myself as a suburban white kid, bro. What suburban white kid has committed crime? The worst crime he's committed is saying maybe the N-word, and I'm not even saying I have said that. Um, that's probably the worst crime a suburban white kid could commit, let's be honest. Ooh, he said the N-word. Oh, he might have sped. Maybe he went speeding. Maybe, okay, that actually applies to me, speeding down like a road. Oh, he went 20 over the speed limit. Okay, sure, like that's not that bad. I mean, it's technically a felony in some states. Let's not go there though. Like, you know, I live in Chicago. Yeah, I live near Chicago. I don't live in Chicago, bro. Like, okay, that's the first misconception. And you saw me smoking blunts with a. Okay, bro. Okay, I'm not smoking blunts, bro. Dude, I've never smoked. The proof would be, and this is the best way to prove you never smoked. Smoke your first joint or your first, cigar or whatever. Smoke something for the first time, but do it on stream and see how much I cough. You could argue, oh, you fake coughing. No, 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 no. You would know I'd be real coughing. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna start an addiction to cigarettes because I want to prove, oh, I don't smoke cigarettes. Because then it'd be like, ooh, I like the high. Ooh. Or with smoke weed. Ooh, I like how it makes me feel. That's the problem. I have an addictive personality, so I would just immediately get addicted after that happens, and then next thing you know, you see me smoking a blunt every single time I stream. Like, that would be great, actually. Um, cigar smoke smells like coyote piss. I've never I don't think I've ever smelled cigars, honestly. I can't identify a cigar. I don't think I've ever really seen anyone besides online like smoke cigars. Like I just don't know anyone who does that. I'm not gonna lie though, if I was I can say that. If I was gonna smoke something, it'd probably be weed just because, you know, is it the best? Like it's still not great for you fully, but like out of all the options, it's probably the best. Honestly though, If I was trying to get high, probably just take edibles at that point because, I'd rather take an edible. That's why I don't understand. Why do people not take edibles? I guess it's easy to overdose on them. That's the problem. It's like, hey, ooh, I just took 500 milligrams of THC or whatever it's called, right? By accident. Like, yeah. But the point is if I was trying to get high, I'd just take edibles because, the whole smoke ingestion of your lungs, nope, nope, nope. That's just like that's room for destroying your lungs. And people try to argue, well, weed smoking doesn't damage your lungs that badly. Well, it's still smoking. You're not supposed to inhale smoke ever. Like, who told you that inhaling smoke is good? Like, no one. It's why when there's a fire in your house, like you don't want to inhale smoke. You want to get on the ground as low as possible to, not inhale the smoke. Who smokes nowadays, by the way, is crazy, by the way. There's a lot of stoners out there. 420, dude. Who celebrates 420? Say it with me, 420. Okay, I've always said this, by the way, this is my take. If you celebrate 420, you're stupid because that means you've already smoked, like, you smoke somewhat often. Hey, it's 420, time to smoke. It's like, dude, you already do that so, like, often, clearly, because no normal person is like, I'm only gonna smoke 1 day a year. It's like, that's stupid. Why would you ever smoke 1 day a year? It's such a stupid holiday. Just, hey, get those people who are already potheads and going crazy more. Having a good time. No, I don't really mind it, to be honest. Like, I don't care and it doesn't affect me. Like, I don't care if people smoke at all. Who cares? Give me your nerd voice impression. Also, the cigar smoke smells very earthy, richy, and smoky. Okay, sure. You just said smell. Wait, you just said it smelled like coyote piss. Okay, whatever. Nerd voice? I'm a nerd. Oh. Okay, enough. Just okay. See, I've been paused for like probably like 5 minutes. I don't even remember what's happening in the video. Gotta lock in. The problem is I think I know the story, so I probably should just not react. Yeah. See, yep. See, I just saw that. I know exactly what's gonna happen then. I don't know all the details leading up to this, but I know what the end result's probably gonna be. Actually, okay.
29th, so 17 days after that first raid on their condo. And that night, Michael and Dahlia had been eating dinner at a restaurant. And when they left and headed out to the parking lot, once again, standing around Michael's car were several police officers clearly waiting for him to return.
There's my problem with this whole thing. Is that, like, dude, I've seen, like, people get arrested for, like, prank calling the police or, like, like false calls, right? And it happens multiple times, right? It's not like one time, oh, you're gonna investigate. But this happened 3 times now, right? So in theory, of course, they should be tracking who's calling because, it's 3 times. 3 times you're out kind of strategy, baseball. Ooh, is it 3 times? Yeah, it's 3 times you're out. Yeah, okay. It's 4 fouls. I don't watch baseball. Don't play it, so that's why I'm stupid with that stuff. Don't worry about that. The point is like, 3 strikes you're out exists for a reason, because it's 3 times too many. Maybe they used a VPN. That's not how calling works. Oh my God. Okay. They still can like identify where the number's coming from. You know? I don't know. The government and the police force has like they basically say stop saying basically. I said basically there twice in the span of like less than 5 words. Like it's crazy. Basically, like enough. Nah, but like actually though, like the government and the police force have like way too many easy ways to just track your phone. Like the only way to get your phone to not be like trackable is by basically breaking it or like completely shutting it off and hoping that it actually works, which that's not even guaranteed to work. So yeah, it's not great. They use NordVPN. Hey, NordVPN. Speaking of sponsorships, that's my sponsor. I have not seen a NordVPN sponsor in a long time, by the way. What's happening with that? What's happening? A lot of the sponsors I used to see are gone, honestly. Like, where's Raid Shadow Legends? I've never seen that in a while. I'm not complaining, really, because they're always stupid. I don't know.
And so without even needing to ask why they were there.
Throw your phone in a river so the feds won't hunt you. But that makes you look suspicious. That's a problem. Because now it's like, oh, we tracked you near a river, right? They tracked your, like, because they can use the cell tower information that, to figure out where you, like, project where you were. And they'll see, oh, you were at a river, and now we can't track you. Oh, I wonder if they did something bad at a river. Okay, so now we know we have a problem, right? If you're trying to look unsuspicious, I mean, You should, well, I don't know. I don't know what you could do here because why? I mean, just don't do this. Don't call the police and say something stupid and know it's false. You know, don't say like, "Oh, I'm being shot" when there's literally no shots. Kind of situation. Burner phone, bro. God, burner phones. Okay, that's not how that works. I guess the only way I can think of is like use like an old flip phone is probably the easiest way to do this. But like who has flip phones nowadays? I don't even know if you can buy them really. Like you probably have to go on eBay and find a flip phone. I never actually owned a flip phone, so I have no idea how they work either. I think I heard somewhere that like yeah, flip phones are the best way. I'm pretty sure to go undetected, still use your phone. I think they said like FBI officials or something use flip phones. Or I don't know. I don't remember. The Nokia 3310. Okay, I don't even know if I said that right. It's a good alternative for weaponry and privacy from the ops. Okay. The second crime that every white suburban kid has committed is saying the word ops just stupidly. I've done this, and I think everyone has. They act like they have ops, or they say, "Ooh, the ops are coming after me," when there's no one who hates on them. Okay, it's just true. Okay, that's the second crime every white suburban kid has committed. Put that in your list. You know, put that in your little book of crimes every white suburban kid has committed.
Michael and Dahlia, they go over to them and they just start pleading with them to understand that this is a setup. We do not have drugs in this car. We don't know what's going on here. Please, you got to understand that someone's doing this to us. But this time, when they searched his car, they would find something.
Oh.
Before we go any further, I want to
This shopper guy. See, now, dude, the amount of videos, dude. Oh, no, okay. What happened? Why is it like this? Oh, how do I fix this? Wait, what? You know what's funny? I already discovered this feature like probably like a month ago too. And I got shocked last time this happened, but nope, 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 I forgot again. Okay. I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, skip. What did it say? NordVPN? No, Experian, credit cards. Yeah, I'm good off that. Yeah, I'm good. I never understood why people like why companies, you know, dark. Okay. All right, dude. I don't believe in that. There's no way. Like, oh yeah, we're just immediately detecting anything that's from the dark web. You don't know. You might find some stuff, but there's no way. It's just, and also dark web's overhyped. I don't know. That just seems fishy. Nah, but like, why is it that like p these companies? I never understood why do people spend so much money on advertising, right? Because I don't know about you, but advertising's like I've never like watched an ad and said, "Oh my God, I'm buying this right now." Like, you know, maybe like once in a while, maybe. I can't even think of a time I watched an ad and said, "I'm buying this" or "I'm planning on buying this." Besides, like, I don't know. I can't think of anything. Like maybe like a Coca-Cola ad made me think, "Ooh, I'm thirsty for a Coca-Cola," right? That's it. I've never bought a Coca-Cola because of a Coca-Cola ad. That's why I don't get why did Coca-Cola have ads? Why does Pepsi have ads? Like everyone knows about them. There's no people who are like, "Oh my God, I just saw this ad of this mysterious drink called Pepsi. I've never heard of it. I better try it. It looks so delicious." That person was gulping it with such like just their face was like looking so like replenished. I need to try it. No, everyone knows what it is. Like, why are you spending all this money on ads? It's just a waste of money. You never know. You never know. I mean, okay, maybe someone who moves to the United States and was in like some weird country, I guess, but like that's such a small population. Countries restrict pops because of their high sugar content. Okay, okay, what? What is it? That doesn't make sense. That means it just, oh yeah, the ads in that country are going to people who can't even use it. Like what? North Korea, Russia, Cuba restricts them? What does that have to do with? Okay, I don't know. I'm confused. I guess you're saying, ooh, the people migrated or immigrated from Cuba. Oh, wow, they don't know what a Coca-Cola is. Okay, cool. I don't know. And then you got the, you know, the beers. You know, every single time I see a beer ad, I'm just like, dude, like, you know, I guess, no, the beer thing I get actually, because now I think about it, it's like if I was gonna ever try beer, or I was gonna decide to be now, start drinking alcohol. It's like, ooh, I have a map or a plan of like, hey, this is what I saw. So I guess those ads were effective, but because it's like, ooh, what was it called? See, the problem is I don't even know what it's called. Oh God, it was called Bud Light. That's the one I heard is not great, but the point is like, hey, that's the one I see all the time. Must be great. Budweiser too, I'm not. I'm getting so off topic. You drink your. Oh, dude, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know what that is. It's great.
Car, the police would find a small bag of cocaine stuck inside of
Oh
a
no, my original point though is why do people put sponsorships in videos? Like, how many views does this have? 6 million. But like, people be getting sponsorships. I guarantee you, because I feel like most people watch YouTube when they get a sponsorship, like they see a sponsorship, they immediately just skip that part. I mean, if you follow the trends, not this video. Well, actually, this video because there's a slight bump in retention, whatever. But like a lot of times when there's sponsorship, you can just click the jump ahead part and it just immediately skips that part, right? Because so many people skip it. So my question is, why do companies spend all this money on sponsorships if they should at least know, like, hey, most people are not going to even acknowledge it. And the people who do acknowledge it are probably not going to buy it because it's not the right audience. Install Honey from Chrome extensions to get the best codes from the ultimate discount. Oh yeah. I think I watched a video. Yeah, I did watch a video why that was bad. I don't even remember why. Okay, see, I have such bad memory. I'm supposed to know why I was evil. Because it did something wrong. I don't even know what.
cigarette carton tucked underneath his spare tire in the trunk. And when Michael saw them pull the cocaine tucked underneath,
Cocaine in a cigarette carton. It's very weird.
find a small bag of cocaine stuck inside of a cigarette carton tucked underneath his spare tire in the trunk. And when Michael saw them pull the cocaine out, he began to cry because he knew, even though it was not his and he had not put it there, that he was going to jail because he was going to get arrested for possession and he was on probation and he was screwed. And so he just begins crying and pleading with police to understand that the cocaine was not his. He swears it's not his. Meanwhile, Dahlia, she's looking at the drugs and now she's second guessing herself. Is Michael lying? Is he actually selling drugs? And he's been lying to me too? But when she sees her husband crying hysterically and looking so sincere, she believes that he's got to be telling the truth. And so pretty soon she was standing beside Michael and pleading with police as well to let them go, that this was totally just a setup. And amazingly, these police officers who were aware of the previous raids on Michael and Dahlia's property, they told them, look, we do think this is pretty suspicious that somebody keeps calling in about you selling drugs and now magically the drugs are in your car. And so what we're going to do is we're going to confiscate this cocaine. We're not going to arrest you.
Okay, notice how, and this is hindsight because I know it's gonna happen, but notice how. Well, I don't know all the details leading up to it, but I know what the end story is. Basically, just notice how the wife, or girlfriend or whatever she is like, this all happened when they started getting together, right? That's, you just gotta look at that. Yeah, that's suspicious, but that is hindsight bias. That's the problem. Hindsight bias is the problem. If people act like, oh wow, I saw that coming from a mile away after they know what the plot is. Um, I don't even know why I'm reacting to this video. I know what's gonna happen, but like, it's like the details. I've never heard these details. That's the thing. So it's like, ooh, I just like all this. I don't know. I don't know about this. Like what? There's like sting operations. Like what is happening?
Instead, go home, be safe, call us if you see anything strange, you hear anything strange, and we're going to begin investigating to figure out who is making all of these calls. And so Michael and Dahlia were totally relieved to hear this, but at the same time, they were kind of terrified because clearly whoever was looking to get Michael in trouble now was prepared to break into his property in order to do it. And so
Yeah.
what was stopping them from breaking into their condo and planting drugs in there as well? And so after these police officers left, Michael and Dahlia hopped in the car, they sped back to their condo, and they went inside and they searched it top to bottom, looking for any sign that anyone had recently been in there or if there were drugs or anything illegal inside of their condo. And after looking and finding nothing, they just locked their doors, shut their windows, shut the blinds, and just prayed that the police would be able to quickly identify who was doing this to them and make them stop. But over the next few months, the police would not figure out who this anonymous caller.
Oh, you know what I just remembered? Ooh, this is back in the day. Okay, it's not even that far. I was alive when this happened, so I shouldn't say back in the day. Well, I say, you know what? Back in the day does apply because that was a long time ago. back in my day is really relevant because, when I was one, that's back in my day, kind of situation. Doesn't matter how old you are. If you're older than the age of like 14, you have the permission to say back in my day when speaking back in like when you were 5, you know? Anyways, that's just my point of view, okay? Anyways, the point is this is around the time before the iPhone, so like there wasn't really tracking, as much as prevalent as it is now, because the iPhone it's just easier than ever to track people. That's why the whole anonymous thing actually worked, which makes a lot more sense, because they said this happened in like 2008 or something, which makes, yeah, no, yeah, it makes perfect sense then.
Was because the caller stopped calling. And so for a little while, Michael and Dahlia were convinced that the whole ordeal was over and done with, and they basically returned to their normal lives. But on August 5th, 2009, roughly 4 months after the cocaine was found in Michael's car, the anonymous caller would come back with a vengeance. On that morning at around 5:45 a.m., Dahlia left the condo, leaving Michael in bed, and she headed out to the local gym to get a workout in. Around 6:30 in the morning, she stepped off the treadmill and she looked at her phone and she saw she had a missed call from a number she didn't recognize, and this number had left her a voicemail. And so she calls her voicemail, she puts it to her ear, and as she's listening, her heart starts to race because it was a Boynton Beach detective telling her there had been some sort of incident at her condo and she needed to come back right away. Terrified, Dahlia grabbed her things and she ran out of the gym, she got in her car, and she called this number back. And when the detective picked up, she tried to get more information from him about what this incident was, what happened. And the detective would only say that it involved her husband, and he would explain everything when she came back. And so in a total state of shock, Dahlia turned on her car and she sped out of the parking lot and she headed back towards her condo. And when she turned onto her street and saw her condo, she hit the brakes and just stared. In front of her condo were all these police cars with their lights on, and police officers were walking around, and yellow crime scene tape.
What would you do if that happened and you're like, you're just living casually in the suburbs, the neighbor next door has 10,000 police officers just roaming around. What would you do? Would you be a peeper? Because honestly, I'd be a peeper. I wouldn't go as far though. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't go as far as to be asking, hey, what's going on? Because I feel like that's just way too nosy. And the problem would be like, hey, none of your business. Go back inside. And, but like, it's just like when something like I don't know. It's just like I don't know what most people do. I feel like they're just peep. I mean, it's probably the best method. Bro was calling back in my day, put a grandpa in a wheelchair emoji. Like, dude, I'm not a grandpa, and I'm not in a wheelchair. You know, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Okay. Nah, but yeah. So I don't know. I'd be scared to leave the house. Also, I never understood how construction is legally allowed to happen right in front of people's driveways. You ever just like roam around and see like, hey, there's whole street where people live is just torn up and blocked off. Like, where are they supposed to go? I don't understand. It's so off topic, but it's kind of relevant because, police officers will do the same thing, block off a whole road because they're investigating something, right? It's like, what are you supposed to do? Oh, it's an emergency. I need to go home. Oh, no, I can't. Like, what? I'm a basement goblin. Okay, what does that even mean? Basement goblin? Okay, I get the word basement, but goblin? Like, really? Just saying words.
Was lining the outside of her property, and inside of the taped off area there were all these crime scene photographers taking pictures of her condo. And so as Dahlia is sitting in her car at the top of the street just staring at this crazy scene she's seeing, one of the Boynton Beach police officers sees her and walks up, and after confirming that she was Dahlia Dippolito, he said to her, leave your car here and come with me. And so Dahlia, who knows obviously something bad has happened but really doesn't know the extent of it, she puts
Yeah, okay, so we're just talking about goblins from Clash of Clans or Clash Royale. Now, by the way, I know this story. I know where this is going. So basically what happens, to sum this up, because I don't really want to watch the full thing. I feel bad. So I'll just have a link when this turns into a video, I'll have the link of the original video in the description so you can watch the whole thing. But basically, they talk to her, she fake cries, and let's just pull up this. She fake cries, they tell her, oh, your husband was murdered. She was in a plot of an assassination attempt, right? They don't, but like he actually is fine because um, it didn't actually happen.
Get over here. Get over here.
Or it could be any number of other people that Michael had done wrong in the past. And so the detective, he's taking diligent
Imagine
notes.
playing the victim. The thing is, I'm so sick of victims. You know, people be playing the victim card in just such stupid scenarios. Be like, I like the most common one I'm seeing is recent is like people who like, you know, they just are bad drivers and they get in a crash and they're like, oh my God, I didn't see. Oh, it's a bad day today. You know, I just broke my arm. I don't even know how I was driving. Like, I don't know. I've never saw that, so I don't know why I said that. I just made up a random scenario. That probably has happened at some point. Some idiot probably made up an excuse. I broke my leg when I was driving. Like, that's probably the excuse they made. Anyways,
He's
enough.
listening to Dahlia, and then at some point in a break in the conversation, he says to Dahlia, okay, it's time to get serious. I need to know if you know this guy. And so Dahlia, she was kind of looking down and she looks up, confused what he's talking about, and then the door opens, and this huge guy in handcuffs walks into the room.
Come here. Bring this guy in here.
Of course, it's a big guy too.
Get over here. Get over here. You know who this guy is? You never seen?
Define big. I don't know if that's really. I mean, he's tall. I don't know. Big is the thing about big is you think of like, you know, like a football player who's like 6'3", 6'4", who's like really, really heavy, you know? You know, he's running full speed, you're dead. Like he tackles you, you die kind of situation. I mean, obviously, okay, if you get tackled by a 6'3", like, I don't know, 400-pound man, 400 pounds is ridiculous, but like, you know, kind of situation like that, it's like, dude, you're not really in a good situation. The average person's probably gonna break bones or ribs or some kind of situation. Reminds me of that one video where a female runner bonks the opponent with a metal baton and acts like if that was an accident. I've literally never saw that before. Oh my god, I just saw a video. Oh my god. This is what I'm talking the whole victim thing, by the way. This is what I'm talking about. So basically, this guy was on a highway and there's a whole like bike race, right, happening on the side. They're outside of the bike lane, they're in his lane, and he says, "You're in my lane," and he just runs them all over. And then he acts like he's the victim because they were in his lane. They weren't in the bike lane. They were using my lane. My lane, my way, like kind of situation. That was like the dumbest video I've ever seen in my life. And people find ways to play the victim in such stupid scenarios. Like that is obviously your fault. Even if something is going on, like let's just say there's a brake checker, you have no real, there's no real. I mean, I guess you can justify like just smashing the guy, but like, and you can play the victim as like, ooh, this guy was brake checking me, but like at the same time, dude, it's like you could have just pulled over, or you know, put on your hazards and stopped moving, and this problem would solve itself, you know. Um, this is one I'm talking about. It has blown up lately through social media. Well, you didn't send the link. Oh, you did. Okay. Click the link. Alright, let's pull this up. I don't really like watching all getting distracted this much, but I mean this video is already distracted. I don't know why I can't English. High school runner defends herself after baton hit incident.
Morning, Alayla Everett,
Why is the audio in my left ear? Please explain.
the track star at the center of that viral video showing her
What?
plan to hit another runner in the head with the baton, is speaking out.
I would never do that.
Why? I would never do that. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These people really think they're innocent. Like, oh, I'm gonna get away with it. Like, dude, really? You're on video doing it. Like,
Baton,
your number is on that shirt. Like, the people in the audience could have read your number and last name probably and just said, "Oh, I know who that is." Like, you can't act like you didn't do it.
is speaking out.
I would never do that on purpose. That's not in
Oh, you said it never on purpose. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, this is what's funny. What scenario do you need a baton in a race, though? Like, oh, I'd never do it on purpose. Well, if you did it on accident, why are you accidentally carrying a baton? Like, what? I don't get it. I don't get how you don't even notice there's a baton, like someone carrying a baton in the race. Like, I don't know. Fingers slipped. That's the type of thing you say when like, ooh, I accidentally shot my teammate in Call of Duty or something. Oh, my finger slipped. You can't argue that here.
Everett says the incident is a complete misunderstanding, pointing to another angle of the race as proof.
The baton was literally like her arm was literally hitting the baton like this until she got a little ahead.
Yeah,
The
why is the
baton
quality so bad? Is it like, oh, dude, why? What?
like this.
Bro, what the hell? This is ABC7 and they're stupid 360p. What is happening? I've never seen that. Okay, that's great to hear. No, let me rewatch that quickly because I don't know.
Literally, like her arm was.
I can't even
Her,
tell if you're hitting though. Like, oh, hello.
Of the race as proof.
See, it doesn't
the
even look like
baton
she's
was
hitting.
literally
I don't
like
know.
her arm was.
At that
Her arm
angle
was
looks like nothing happened. Stick drift. Okay. Imagine if this was a simulation. Imagine if life was a simulation though, and someone actually was playing that character, right? Playing this character in their own, like it was VR for them, right? And they had stick drift on their controller. Now that's would be crazy. I'm not going into simulation theory though. The first leg runners start with crouch start. Baton is pushed vertically by the incoming runner to the ongoing runner, extended hand. Teammates rely on spoken words to organize passes. Oh, so it was one. Oh, wait, so this was a run where you have to pass the baton? I don't know.
literally.
No, because those races you usually have someone standing like on a line, and then like when they get the baton, they run forwards kind of situation. Like they have their hands extended back, you know? They're not like both running at the same time usually.
Hitting the baton
Dude,
like
what is this quality?
until she
And who are
got
these
a
people?
little ahead, and my arm got stuck like this.
In the video, Everett is seen on the
Yeah,
inside
no, that just looks like you
of the
purposely.
track running the 4x200 relay at the Virginia State High School League Championships when Junior
Oh, it is a
Kalen
baton
Tucker
race. That's wait.
came around the outside on the corner.
That's when she hit me with the baton. I just felt a bang on my head and then I fell off the track immediately.
Kalen dropping her baton and reaching for her head. She was later diagnosed with a concussion.
What? Okay. Yeah, if you have a concussion from that situation, you definitely did that on purpose. There's no question in my mind kind of situation. Like, yeah, you don't just accidentally give someone a concussion, you know? That's not happening. Why is your name red? What does that even mean? Why? Okay, we got another problem called my stream quality is never mind, my stream is fine. Bro is so late to the baton incident, bro. Okay, is this like a common thing? How many views does it have? It has 250. Wait, this happened 5 days ago. What? I thought this happened 2 years ago. You're telling me? Okay, let me pull some up, right? Take a look at this. 5 days ago, right? Okay. So it's 2025, big 2025. You know, 5 days ago. By the way, 5-5. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. It just needs to have a 5 in here, so it'd be 5-5s. Anyways, distracted. Okay, because 5-5s means nothing. Anyways, the point is, right? Big 2025, 5 days ago, right? And the highest quality from ABC7, not 5, is, guess what? It's 360p. No other options. It can't even go lower. That's how you know it's bad. Like, how are you messing up that bad on quality as a news, and whatever it's called, news channel, right? Like, you can't even go to 144. They don't even give you the option, the luxury of going to 144p. What if your phone is destroyed? I actually used to have a person who watched me. I think oh yeah, it was Pancake Boy, right? Back, anyone knows he used to say, "Oh, the videos, I can't watch your streams unless it's 144p because my phone is so trash." By the way, if that's the situation, why do you have a phone at all? But top 5 Yas sessions. All right, bro. That's why they're not the first ABC. What does that even mean? Maybe their source was only 360p. Oh, okay. Yeah, see this, and then I immediately get disproven. Okay, yeah, so this is why I'm stupid. This is why worst reactor in the world award goes to me. How many times am I gonna say that? You know what? I'm just gonna say that every video, because you know what? Everyone in the comments is just like, oh yeah, your worst reactor. Guess what? Screw you. Stay on topic challenge. Impossible, bro. Okay. Okay, bro. Anyways, I know what's the promise.
Before.
I've never seen him before, ever.
Do you know her?
Put your head up and look at her.
You know what? This is kind of racist. I'm not even explaining.
Yeah, no.
Because if I explain that, I'm gonna look like a racist. I was just gonna move on from that. Skip.
She had stolen almost immediately.
I see the problem is I know the story. So basically, that's a fake. That's a random body. Wait, no, that's okay. So what happened here? Because I know the story. Because I'm just gonna skip through all this. Basically, what happened is that is the undercover cop that she told that she was gonna assassinate her husband to that guy, and then the police acted like he already committed the assassination attempt actually, but he didn't because the husband's still alive. They just told the husband to evacuate the house, and here's the recording, obviously, of him heard saying
I need
this.
the money from you. I went, I grabbed it right away, like, we were good to go. Like, with me, you're not gonna have a problem, you're not gonna have an issue.
And so the Boynton Beach Police Department, they have all this information about what Dahlia thinks is going to happen, and they decide they can use this information to set her up in the most elaborate.
Yeah, I feel bad that I rewatched this video. I ruined the whole reaction, but that's okay. I didn't watch it, though. I just know about it. It's like one of the most, like, known, like, stories, I feel like, from the police. So if you don't know about this story, I mean, you get spoiled, I guess. Well, okay, that's a stupid sentence, because it's getting spoiled as it's being told, you know, kind of
got ready
situation.
to film what happened next.
Listen, we
And
had
then
a
fake
report of
crying.
a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired.
Bro, by the way, do you ever just randomly, like, shed a tear? Okay, I know this is, like, really random, but, like, dude, I just... Like, I remember I had a problem, like, a couple months ago. I started shedding tears in stream for no reason. Like, I was just, like, you know, minding my business. And next thing, I shed a tear. And then I was like, what's happening? Anyways, so that's... Maybe that's how you, how do you fake cry? Just think of your grandma dying? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you think of, like, hey, my friend died in an accident that's so severe. Maybe he got assassinated by a military member. And now he's spray painting every single house with his initials. So now I'm remembered for permanent. That's probably, yeah, that's pretty sad. Was it salty or sweet? Okay.
Fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed. He's been killed, ma'am. I'm sorry. Listen. No. Try to calm down.
Alright, I've had enough of this video. Okay, see, this is the problem. I look over... Oh, no. Alright, I look over to my right, and I see how long I've been streaming for. 61 minutes. I turned a not even 22, like a maybe 20-minute reaction, a 20-minute video max, like into a full-on hour-long reaction somehow. I don't even know how it's possible. Yeah, great video, by the way. Yeah, good. I like it. Yeah. Good. Okay. Alright, now I'm just gonna do this now. Alright, so I ran across this video, and I just need to investigate this. I accidentally came during a job interview, and I know it's probably a fake story, but dude, I need to see. Like, you know, it's kind of one of those situations where you see this, and you just go, man, why does someone make this? You know?
Hi everybody. I had a job interview today.
Why is he bald?
and-
Is that really what you're concerned about? No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say the same thing, but you know what? Maybe he just wants to be bald. I'm gonna say something ignorant. I want to be bald. Yeah, that's ignorant. Yeah, enough.
I came in my pants during the interview. I have struggled my entire life with ADHD and anxiety and bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And I've spent so long trying to figure out how to manage my symptoms so that I can actually be a normal person on a day-to-day basis. And it seems like everything I do doesn't work. I was addicted to Xanax for so long and it ruined my life.
Okay, so wait. Let me read. Do I want to research? Why is his head asymmetrical? Why are you focused on your head? Your head. His head. Okay. I came a few times during the interview too. Okay, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The only situation where I could justifiably see this actually being like, hey, this is a good story. When I say good, I mean like not entertaining, but like, you know, hey, this actually makes sense kind of situation. I know this is gonna sound wild, okay? So hear me out. Is if you were jobless for like 2 years, you're broke, you have no home, and then you get told you got this job and you're getting a salary of $100,000 and we're gonna give you the money now. Then it'd be like, okay, that's justifiable because bro, you're homeless. Why is he recording his car? Oh yeah, so yeah, it's already ruined. Never mind. This story sucks. You know why? Because he's in a car. You can afford a car. I don't want to hear, oh, he's in his mom's car. I don't care. He has money. Actually, if you can cut your hair, you have money too. So yeah, never mind. There's no justifying this story at all. And of course, he's in the suburbs. You get another white. Okay, rule 3 in the list of things you white suburban kids have done that are illegal. Release the hounds in public. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Well, maybe let's word it this way. Release the hounds a little too much. Okay, put that in your book. I just realized that doesn't make sense because I talked about that last video, not in this video. It doesn't matter. Bro, once he's seen the payroll. I mean, that's justifiable in some scenarios, let's be honest. That's justifiable.
And
no, it's not. I mean, if you're okay, but let's be honest, you're sexually attracted to money. I mean, maybe it's just the excitement, dude. He's just so excited. He edged the whole day. Yeah, no, that's gotta be the situation. He edged the whole day. He edged the whole day just to, so that when he got the answer yes, he just could release the hounds, bro. That was the plan. What are we saying it's not? What are we saying? Bro nutted once he's seen the okay, bro. Well, I don't know.
It just felt like everything I did somehow made it worse. And now the one thing that I thought worked clearly doesn't. Basically, I figured out at a very young age that if I was anxious and I was insecure, then the way that in the moment I could
oh no
sort of calm myself down and make myself focus and make myself more confident was to make myself horny, basically. So,
okay.
You know, thinking about something sexy.
Okay, I'm sick of reading these comments. Why does he have a dent in his head? Like, and you yell at me for not being focused in the video. Like, pay attention too, bro. Like, you're not locked in clearly, dude. You're just focused on his head the whole time, bro. There's nothing wrong with his head. I guarantee my head is probably worse shaped. I guarantee it. So I don't want to hear a thing about his head. And I'm defending his head. If there's 10 things I'll die on the hill for, his head. Oh no, that sounds so bad. Oh, that just sounds awful. Okay, let's reword that. And then, you know what? No, we're not rewording that. You know what I meant.
Point where I would get physically aroused. So I would, you know, if I get a chubby or that sort of stuff. And most of the time it went fine. You know, it would actually work
I'm starting to get concerned it might be real.
Because what it does is it sort of makes it's sort of like a natural medication, because when you get horny, the chemicals that your brain releases are, you know, you have dopamine and adrenaline and those sorts of things, and that's very similar to the medications that you would actually take for anxiety or ADHD or that sort of stuff. So
I don't know if that's true.
I figured I was just going to do that and it would be fine, but I got to the interview and I started having a panic attack as usual.
What do you mean you thought you could do that during the interview though? It's a good question. Yeah, this guy's not. I'm really concerned that this could be real. I'm not gonna comment on his head. Bro jerks it when he I can't even read. I can't read. I feel like when I stream, I cannot comprehend sentences. I can't read. My literacy goes from like a 99% greatness to like a 1%. He should have went on a bathroom break. Okay, yeah, I mean, just great. Well, let's just assume he's McDonald's, bro. Do you really want to like, you know what? No. I just imagine myself like in a job interview for McDonald's doing that. It's a really bad thing to imagine. Yeah, just
in my
move
car,
on.
and I pulled out my phone and I started looking at porn.
What?
And
what?
Whacking it, basically, because that really helps when I have a panic attack. It helps me. And I guess that was my first mistake. I sort of got a.
What do you
a
mean your
head
first
start
mistake?
Before I went in, you know.
Oh no.
So I go in and it starts off okay. You know, the receptionist is very nice. I'm waiting for the guy to come out who's going to interview me, and I sort of start.
Oh my God, he did it before the interview, bro. You take this to the grave if it were you. No, I mean, honestly, if I did this, ooh, would I take it to the grave? No, I would definitely not. No way. It's not something to take to the grave. Honestly, it's not that bad. Okay, okay. Okay, it's bad, but like, you know, it's like after a couple of years, it's like, who cares? Like, oh no, who cares? Especially if you imagine if you actually got the job though. Like, then it's like you should just tell people, like, hey, I did this, and what are they gonna do? Fire you? They can't do that. It's quite bad. Well, I mean, obviously it's bad to do in public, but it's like, I mean, I don't. I want to hear the full story. But I don't know.
Preparing my fantasy that I'm going to focus on through the interview. So it's good. For me, usually that's stuff like cucking and pet. Well, I don't know. You know, I don't need to get into it, but you know what I mean. Everybody has sort of their little things that they like. God. Sorry, I'm a mess. I just have been crying all day since it happened this morning. So the guy comes out, and I have to kind of, you know, because I don't want to stand up and then have a, you know, boing thing happen. So,
Okay.
So I stand up and I say hello. I shake his hand, you know, blah blah, and it starts going well.
Oh my God, I didn't even think. Yeah, no, this is bad. Yeah, remember when I said it wasn't that bad? I just realized he shook his hand with the guy. Yeah, that's yeah. If this is real, by the way, oh my God, oh my God, why? No, this is not real. It's obviously not real. Well, let me check his channel. You know, I'm just gonna do that right now because you know I need to see the satire. What? Yeah, this. Okay. What am I looking at? Yeah, this is definitely just satire. Can I please?
Hi, everybody.
Okay, where was I paused at? I don't even remember. His channel is cursed. Yes, I agree, by the way. Why my nephew deserved to be hit with my car? Yeah, no, this is just fake. So, honestly, who cares what this story says? Like, it's fake. But just let's imagine it's real, bro. Let's just imagine.
It starts fine, but then the first thing that happened that sort of made it go worse was that on the website they advertised the position as being fully remote.
Okay.
But then in the interview he said that actually I had to come in 3 times a week still.
All right, red flag. Yeah, this is why I've every time I've gotten a job, by the way, which is only twice, every time after it happens, I see red flags. And the red flags, that's one of them. When they just directly lie to you, or it's the pitch. I'm literally gonna smash something. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I'm so. I'm. Okay, just I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Interview, he said that actually I had to come in 3 times a week still, and I started to get. Normally I probably would have just said okay whatever, but this I really didn't want to come in because like I said I have debilitating anxiety and social scrap, so I looked for a remote position on purpose so that I would be able to be easier for me to work. So I wanted to confront him about this, and because my anxiety was getting worse and increasing, I had to sort of make I had to get more aroused, because it's like if that goes up then this has to go up, right?
Okay, so you're just arousing yourself during the interview. Yeah, that's a great method. On tweaking, bro. Maybe you should try this method. Okay, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna try gooning in public. You know, that's what I want to do. You know, it's what exactly. You know, I already have like a great, you know, when I say this in quotation marks, a great public image, by the way. Great public image. I definitely need to improve it with worse things. Clipped? Okay, dude. Oh my God, this is yeah. Okay. Anyways, by the way, if this was real, let me comment on this. I I want to say this. Is it true? You know, everyone tells you, hey, everything you post on social media, bro, it's just gonna make it harder for you to get a job. Is that true? Do they actually look? Because if they do, by the way, I'm cooked low key because of situations like this where people are clipping things that are ridiculous. But also, are they really gonna do a good hunt? Like, I'm not actively looking for a job. The point is, if this was real, which it's not, this guy posting this basically just made it so that his chances of getting a job are zero. Because I'm assuming this went viral, right? I mean, yeah, it went kind of viral, so you kind of cooked. Depends on the job. I mean, yeah, I mean, if they're looking for like a dishwasher, or they're looking for like a job that like basically they don't care who does it, it's just an any one job, like, ooh, be a, I don't know, oh, you want to be a cook in McDonald's and make burgers? Ooh, God, it's so hard. Put the fries in the bag situation, you know. Then I I'm just, I don't know. My brain has just stopped work functioning at this point in my life. Not this, okay. I didn't even mean to say my life. Like, that just sounds wrong. That's not what I meant. I mean right now, like, actively. What time is it? Bro, I've only been streaming for an hour and, like, what, some minutes? I can't math. Hour, 30 minutes? And I legitimately feel like I've been streaming for 5 hours. Like, what is happening? Uh, he would make a good teacher. Oh my God. The sad reality is it's true. Because he fits the role too perfectly. He's creepy and weird. I'm not saying all teachers are like this, but we all know of that one teacher. We all know.
Oh. So I was thinking more about my fantasy, and then also I was there was a desk there, so I started kind of working myself. You know what I mean? I know that when I'm explaining it right now, it sounds bad, but you have to understand that most of the time nobody would find out, right? And you also have to understand how difficult it is. I don't think most of you know how difficult it is to have anxiety and panic disorder and ADHD and probably autism. I don't even know. I have tons of stuff.
Just take your meds, boy. I mean, it's really that simple. Just take your meds. Like, stop making excuses. You're like, it's kind of like Kanye when he's just like, I'm not taking my meds, and he just goes on these severe rants about like, I love Hitler and I hate all these people, right? Basically what he's doing is that, like, except it's just worse because instead of taking his med, he found his own source of medication, which is just, yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It really is crazy out here.
So it's debilitating. So I try to do anything I can to feel better. And if this is what in a capitalist system, I have to I do anything and anything to survive in capitalism.
What?
So yeah, I was under the table. Yeah.
What does capitalism have to do with this? Bro is removing context. Like, what? Why do I see don't eat seafood before busting? What? That just implies that you did that for what is that? I almost want to research, but like that's just like no, yeah, I'm not researching that. No way. Because it's gonna show up something stupid and I don't want to see right now.
And he says, so I ask him, so you advertise the position online as being a remote position, but now you're saying that it's not. And he said, well, I don't know what we said online. Sometimes that stuff isn't accurate. So I said, whatever.
That is probably the most realistic thing in the whole story, by the way, is that companies lie. I'm so sick of it. I've really just, if there's an alternative universe, I would be Thanos. I would just Thanos snap all these companies into, I don't know, destruction. Just watch the world crumble. Like Walmart. I mean, who really needs Walmart? I mean, you can argue, oh, they have good prices. Don't care. Get rid of them. Targets, mediocre, you know. I don't know. Who really needs like a what's the place called? Texas Roadhouse, and what was the other one? I don't remember. You got stupid. What is the place? Never mind. I'm just there's Wingstop and what's the other wing place? Buffalo Wild Wings. Like merge them together. Boom, solves like half the problems with life. You know. Oysters improve sex drive. Is this true? Is this true? I could research that and see if that's actually true. Do oysters... I cannot spell. Oh my god. I cannot spell again. Do oysters improve... Okay. E-sex. That just... Ah, dude, that just... Okay, dude, and that just looks horrible, because, like, dude, like, I don't need to associate my name with that. There's no conclusive scientific... Well, this is AI, so, I mean... By the way, this AI is great, but, you know, I just, you know, just in case people say that. Science has not proven their effects. Medical news today, like, how reliable are they? I'm not going on this. What does Quora know about this? Like, come on, Reddit? Why are Redditors talking about this? Like, oh, no, I know why, because... They're fantasizing about their, you know, the day their waifu comes to life, and then they can pile drive them. Like, oh, I'm gonna peg you today, kind of situation.
And I moved on because now I'm not even sure I want this job anymore. But maybe, you know, that's the type of thing where maybe we can figure it out later. And then he asked me about my last job, which obviously I got fired from if you watch my recent videos. So
I did not.
So I was trying to figure out a way that I got really nervous trying to figure out a way that I could say what happened, but also not, if he called my old boss and asked what happened, I didn't want to have lied, but also I want to explain it in a way that it doesn't sound that bad and seems...
Alright, so I'm assuming he just had a public duty session in the middle of his job. He probably worked at Walmart. Just, you know, he's just in the aisles, you know, make sure he's out of view, you know, of all the customers. You know, just you know, do it right next to the good old-fashioned Sour Patch Kids. Okay, that just sounds diabolical, though, like... Dude, next to the Sour Patch Kids, you know, that just implies some things you don't want to apply, you know?
You know, reasonable, and hopefully makes him not want to call the people. So I think at this point, I don't know, I mean, I sort of was not aware exactly of... I was trying to kind of keep myself under control, but I was also you know, I felt myself all of a sudden, it kind of snuck up on me. I felt myself kind of all of a sudden go over the point of no return, right? And so I felt it happen, and I was kind of like and I tried to pretend to have a coughing fit, you know, because you can try to act like nothing's happening, but on a certain level something's gonna happen. So I'm trying to go like you know,
my God.
And I must not have done a very good job, I guess, because afterwards he looked at me very strangely and he was like, is everything okay? And then I just kind of broke down and I said, no, it's not okay, because I know that it's not your fault, but nothing in my life is going right at all.
Oh my God. These are the worst type of people. I just, when I hear those words, and it just sounds like people are trying to guilt trip you into doing things. It's like, those people make me so angry, beyond angry at any other people. The people are like, man, they like, you just have a normal conversation, they have a sob story about their life sucks, and oh my God, I just lost my grandma in a car accident, and oh, my car broke down just on the interstate the other day. And now I ran out of money because my job fired. Like, I don't care. I don't even, like, 90% of the times, even if a friend did that to me, I'd be like, I just don't care that deeply. Like, most of the times, it's just, like, uncalled for. And the worst is when people do this and, like, online. You know, you go to Discord, you see someone online for the first time, and they just have a public session with you about my life sucks, bro. I just know you knew me, but like, dude, now I'm cutting myself, bro. Like, and then I need help, bro. You know, I'm looking for attention, bro. Can you help me out and tell me every day to not cut myself, bro? Like, now I'm gonna rely on you for the rest of your life. It's like, dude, I don't know. No sympathy, crazy. Bro, I'm just sick of these people. I'm sick of them. When you meet someone for the first time, the first thing they do is complain about their life. I don't care. I hope you have a problem. I hope I hope your life sucks. You know what? Maybe I'm going too far, but I just enough of them. They need to stop. They need to ban them off of the Discord at least. I'm sick of Discord. It's such a problem. Bro hates sad people. I don't hate sad people, all right? I'm fine with someone being sad, but when it's like the first thing you do and I barely know you, it's a problem. It's a severe problem. And then they try to like guilt trip you into, please, I need the attention, bro. Bro, I can't live without attention. I'm gonna end my life. Like, okay. I don't know you, bro. It doesn't affect me. That's the truth. Like, I mean, maybe I'd feel guilty, but like, dude, how am I supposed to know it even happened? Like, I have no way of knowing. Kind of situation. Enough. Okay. It just, yeah. Just hearing this guy try to sympathy. Like, imagine being in a job interview and this guy's like, dude, I need this job, bro. Like, I make no money, bro. And he's not qualified for the position. It's like, dude, that would piss me off beyond belief. Because, like, dude, you're not qualified. I don't care you need money. We're not here to just donate money to a man who does a mediocre job at best. Like, that's not what we're hiring for. Mediocrity, bro. Bro has blood on his hands. I do not.
And it feels like everything I do to try to
If
make
it's a friend, you gotta help him. I mean, yeah, that's different. If it's a friend like I care about, okay, sure. That implies I have friends I don't care about. That's kind of true, low-key. Low-key. You know. I know that sounds evil, but dude, there's people. I feel like everyone can relate. Where you just have like friends, and you don't care about them that deeply. It's like if they died, it wouldn't be the end of the world kind of situation. I mean, that just sounds evil. I need to stop. Because it's just like I don't know. I mean, it's not many, but you know, it's just true. I don't know. That's how I work.
make it better. It just makes it worse.
Bro might be a sociopath. I'm not a sociopath, bro. It's just, I'm not a sociopath, dude. These allegations are ridiculous. I care about people. I don't have sympathy for people who feel like they're trying to get attention from me. That's why I don't have sympathy for, is my point. Okay? If you're trying to get attention from me, I'm not there for it, okay?
My life more. So no, it's not okay. And at this point, I knew that the interview was over and we were past the point of no return, and I started crying. And I stood up I said, you know what, we talked a little bit for a formality, but then eventually I said, okay, all right, that's, and I stood up, and
oh no,
there's a big,
you just say the words.
It was obvious what happened. I don't know what else I need to say. And I shook his hand because I didn't know what else to do. What am I supposed to do? I just shook his hand and I ran out so that before the receptionist could see me or anybody else in the office, but I'm sure they all saw me. And I just kept waiting in my car and cried all day. So,
that is probably, I hate to say it, but that's probably the most, like, imagine if you were just hiring people and you came across this guy. That'd probably be a story of a lifetime. Your life just got 10 times more interesting for that week. You're gonna have a story that everyone wants to hear. Yeah, I think I witnessed a guy just release the hounds in his pants, bro, and he shook my hand. You want to touch my hand? It's not washed, because you can get the, you still can get the particles from my hand if you want, like, kind of situation, Yeah, that'd be, if you ever, I don't know. I don't think this happens right enough, though. Womp womp. Okay.
Story. That's just the latest thing that's happened to me that has been totally horrible. I just hope one day my life gets good. Because I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. I can't.
All right, take your meds, boy. I mean, that's really the solution. Let's be honest. I don't know his money situation. I don't know his financial situation at all. But I'm just gonna take a wild assumption that, like, you know, like, hey, if you had your meds, you would not be in this situation. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. If you're a doctor, if you have like a situation where you have a mental illness that's actually like a huge problem, and you just decide not to take your meds for whatever reason, whatever problems you cause are completely your fault. I don't. I'm sick. Kanye West in particular is who comes to mind. I'm sick of him being like, "Oh, the whole media's after me, bro." Like, I don't do anything wrong. And then he says this wild stuff that's like so ridiculous. And then he like pretends like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know why everyone hates me, bro." Like, the whole world is just meat rotting hating. Like, what? I just take your meds. God damn. Bro should have ate the nut before he shook his hand. He ate the kids, bro. Bro ate the kids. Okay, that's diabolical. Yeah, that's just alright. This video has brought some things I don't want to ever see this video. I don't want to dislike it, but please, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to ever see a video like this. It brought something out of me that I don't need to hear again. Like, I just don't. Not even Batman can get this information out of me. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Would I get rid of, like, would I tell people about this? Probably. But I would probably, you know, the worst part is I'd probably do it in a stream randomly. Yeah, let's be honest, that's what would happen, because I just say the most weirdest stories ever on purpose. I don't even care. Like, so what? Now people know. It's like, his life's gonna be normal in like a couple months. It's 10 months ago. I'm pretty sure no one actually, I don't know, maybe there's commenters on his videos. Yeah, but then he got weirder, so that's why it's like, ooh. You caused your ex's death at this intersection. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This guy might actually be a problem. Like, he might actually have a problem, but I don't know. Hi, I'm a sex therapist. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, this guy just blatantly has a problem. I feel like, yeah, he might actually be for real. I'm a male feminist. It cost my best friend. Okay. Yeah, I almost feel like you shot your waitress. No, yeah, no, there's no, you know what, that's it. I'm not believing any of this. You shot your waitress? If you're making a video saying you shot your waitress, and let's see, how I got out of a DI. Yeah, you're just announcing you committing crimes. Like, half these videos are just committing crimes, and he's not in jail. Like, yeah, that's not your, at all suspicious. I hate people who do this. She dumped me, part one. It's another thing I hate, bro. When people make part ones, part twos, like, especially on TikTok. When I use TikTok, that was a huge issue. You know, like, oh, let's put this really interesting story of part one, and then, oh, part two is like, you have to go discover where that's located. Thumbnails are better than haws. Okay, bro, you're just hating for fun. Dude, it just goes. How many videos does he have? That's a real question. He has 226 videos. I mean, he's got views. He's got a cameo in a... Okay, a cameo, bro? Honestly, if this guy... Oh my god, dude. If this guy gave me a cameo, bro, I might need that. I might invest. I might just invest. Where's his cameo link, by the way? Where's his Patreon link? I don't know. Enough. I don't want to... You can decide if you want to spend the money. I'm watching this. Alright, I know this is crazy, but, like, dude, I don't know what that internet theory is. I have no idea, honestly. So, because I went into a video talking about, like, ooh, dead internet theory, and I was like, wait, what is that? So I was like, why not react to it?
Welcome back. We bring you breaking news from OpenAI's live event.
A new version of ChatGPT-4, that's their latest and greatest model.
This new experience will be available to over 1 billion users.
I'm going to be interviewing at OpenAI. Have you heard of them?
OpenAI? Huh? Sounds vaguely familiar. Kidding, of course. That's incredible, Rocky. What kind of interview?
You said that this is a time for soul searching.
Oh my God! Oh, this just reminded me. Today actually, I watched a video talking about how AI girlfriends are taking over the internet, right? And I found out there's 66 million people, I believe it was, who have paid money for an AI subscription where the AI will purposely like, sexually banter with you, right? Talk about sex and whatnot. You have to pay a subscription to unlock that feature. 66 million people did it. That made me realize that what is happening in the world? What is actually happening? How like when you hear the word, oh, people are gonna get married to AI girlfriends and whatnot, I was like, yeah, oh, whatever. It's maybe a couple people, but it's already happening in mass. It's just like, oh my God, it has nothing to do with this, but that's fake. What do you mean that's fake? Okay, no, it's not.
In social media businesses, and you were part of building the largest one.
I feel tremendous guilt. It is eroding the core foundations of how people behave by and between each other.
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
An anomaly.
I love how this guy says that, and he's probably going to continue putting money and dumping money into AI. The reality is all these people who are rich and massive can say, oh, the AI is the death of the life, the death of the human race, or is going to destroy our brains. What? Right now, but there's no stopping it because we're just dumping thousands and millions, billions of dollars into it every year. You can't stop people who are dumping all this money in. Like, it's just not happening. So, I mean, we're just going to have to prepare for the future of the AI, which is great. There are girls in my school who do that, and they had sexual chats with ghosts from COD. Oh my God, what is up with this? I just had a talk about this the other day with someone. Why do people like ghosts from Call of Duty? Why? I've never understood it. It's unpopular opinion, but like, dude, he doesn't do anything that special. He's just mysterious. But people are like upset. I've literally met people who are like, dude, he's my king. Like, what? Why? Why? And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, dude, Price, if I was a girl, bro, Price is probably more optimal. Let's be honest. Dude, like a nice, like, cool leader of the American military. That's pretty cool. Most people who love Ghosts do not play COD. Oh, that's probably true.
On Capitol Hill, private tech CEOs asking for more government regulation. It's usually the other way around.
If you're old enough to remember a time before the internet, you remember just how momentous the establishment of the World Wide Web really was. Within a generation, your digital life became more important than your physical one. Your digital reputation was all that mattered. But then, around 8 years ago, the internet died. At least
8 years ago? When
this
was
is the
made?
contention.
When was this made? 8 months ago. Wow, okay. 8 years ago the internet died, so that'd make that like what? What's, oh my God, it's 2016? The internet died? I don't agree with that.
Of the so-called dead internet conspiracy theory.
Yeah, well, so what exactly is
it?
It
sounded crazy at first, but I'm a believer now.
Everyone I know who's
The
ever
killer?
talked about this, by the way, has always believed in it. So I don't know if it's a theory necessarily. I don't know.
Artificial intelligence.
Oh, I think I know what this is going to talk about. Okay, I think I understand.
Most analyses of the dead internet theory trace back to this one thread on the Agora Roads Macintosh Cafe forum, originally compiled by several anonymous users in the January of 2021. It's a mishmash of anecdote, conspiracy, and classically offensive 4chan language that claims that the internet died sometime around 2016. Its most bombastic claim is that, quote, the US government is engaging in an artificial intelligence-powered gaslighting of the entire world population. End quote. The method? AI-powered bots that have subtly subverted and steered culture towards nefarious ends. It would be impossible to validate the most paranoid claims in the post, but others now seem obviously, viscerally true. The internet does feel empty now, doesn't it?
Feels empty? I don't know. The problem is I'm not on Twitter, where I think most of the internet is. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the, it's gonna sound crazy, but a lot of like the things that happen on the internet that are like major happen on Twitter. So I'm not even on Twitter. So I don't really have access to the internet as I call it because like let's be honest, I don't know, is it just me or is it Twitter? It's just everything happens. People get canceled there, you know, news breaks, you know, you got like major like I don't know what to call like rants from like Kanye West, for example, or Elon Musk. You got all this stuff that happens there, but you don't see it like on YouTube or you go on Instagram. You're not seeing that stuff. Okay, why are we still talking about ghosts? What? Physique deeming him the baby girl to express their... What are we talking about? Bro, research why ghosts is attractive. Honestly, that's a fair research point, because why do people find ghosts attractive? I don't know. He's, to me, mediocre character. He's okay. Anyways. Nah, but, okay, so I think what they're going to say is basically, hey, the AI is going to take over. It's like there's you always hear people talk about how, like, you know, in comment sections, like, oh, there's a ton of AI comments. Is that true? I mean, there's comments where you see them and you're like, dude, there's no way anyone wrote this because it sounds stupid. But, like, I don't know. I've never really ran into something and said, wow, that's a bot. I don't know. Maybe my mindset's wrong. Maybe I'm thinking, like, hey, these are actual people.
Dead. Nothing to see. Nothing to do.
Nothing
the internet
to see?
may seem gigantic,
What?
but it's like a hot air balloon. Nothing inside.
Okay, that's... What? How can you claim that?
This progenitor of a famous conspiracy theory doesn't sound so crazy anymore.
What do you mean?
It was just posted too early. If it was written after the Cambrian explosion of generative AI in our information ecosystem, it may have even been celebrated as a great cultural insight. While an Illuminati-style global gaslighting campaign still seems unlikely, the evidence that the internet may have slipped out of human control is everywhere. Simply put, most website visitors are not humans.
What?
In 2016, the security firm Imperva released a report that...
Oh my god. What? Okay, I did not know this at all. I had no idea bots were even going on online. Like, really? Oh my god. Wow. Okay. That's, wow. You think he's on something. Okay, bro. I don't know.
Found that bots were responsible for over half of all web traffic. The report also found that every third visit to any website on the internet is probably from a malicious attack.
Why are they visiting websites? And also, bro, okay, this that explains why the whole bot you ever just been like, hey, why are they asking I'm not a robot kind of situation? I always wondered that because, like, dude, what bot is like going here? Why are they going on this website? You know, you view a news article about some talking about like, hey, are you a robot? And you're just like, what? Why are you doing that? It's because of this apparently. And what defines a bad bot?
Bot. GitHub says AI helps their programmers write up to 30%.
Okay, as someone who's learning to program, right? One of the things I've learned is that most people are using AI nowadays, like, to write their programs. And so, from what I understand, and I've been watching a ton of videos on this, basically most software developers at this point, who are newer, are not getting hired because they can't write code. They can research on with AI because AI basically will tell you, not exactly, but there's most AIs can basically fix your problems or, you know, help you write something, and there will be some errors, but for the most part it's pretty accurate. So, like, in theory you could just, you know, go to a job and use AI to help you the whole time. But the problem is that means you have no knowledge of what everything does unless you know how to program. And so that's why, at least for me, as someone who's going into this field, you know, I'm actually trying to actively, you know, learn how to program because I'm not gonna. The point is AI in this field is really bad. Facebook supports the dead internet theory, from what I heard. Yes, I actually saw a thumbnail of a video that said something about Meta officially declared that, I don't know if this is true, Meta declared that the dead internet theory is real. Whatever that means, though, who knows?
Code. The company Cybra estimated that before Elon Musk took over, between 11 and 13% of Twitter accounts were bots.
Oh
and
my
were
God.
responsible for a disproportionate amount of the content. YouTube engineers
Oh
coined
no,
the term
oh no.
the inversion to describe the looming point at which fake views would surpass real ones. Google is currently
What?
worried that its world-changing search algorithm will drown in the current tidal wave of AI-generated content and become far less useful, if at all.
Dude, Google, the problem with Google now is they're just like, they just immediately bombard you with AI in the top. Now, granted, that AI is great, but like, dude, the reason why people use Google nowadays is because they don't want to use AI. I always say this, like, AI in the current state is not great. It's great, but it's not perfect. And I don't get why people are so stupid to just rely on AI for their assignments, because it's obvious, and also, like, it makes errors. It makes, like, especially ChatGPT, it's been proven that it doesn't actually look at anything. It just generates words based off what you ask. It doesn't actually know. It makes up sources. For example, if you type in, like, hey, can you give me some evidence for this, research paper I have? It'll just make up a random website. Like, why are people using this and acting like it's perfect? They're stupid. Just Google, until AI gets great, I'm not relying on it for, like, searching things up, because if it gets something wrong and I just believe it's bad. You could argue, oh, Google, there's a lot of fake news and whatnot. But at least there you have control over what you see, and you can be like, oh, hey, this is good, this is bad, I'm using Firefox because I moved from Google because of that. That's a dumb reason. I think the thing about Google AI is you don't have to use it. And also, if you didn't know, it's actually really good. But I also understand why people don't like it, because it's AI. You just hear the word AI and you're like, ugh. Google's AI is good because what it does is basically takes, like, multiple of the top websites of where you search and sums up what they say for you with key points. The thing is, they cite their sources. They put links. It's like Wikipedia. They cite their sources, like, under each point they make. So you can just click on that article and go, oh, this is exactly from the article, and go, okay. Now, that's questionable because, things at the top are not always the most accurate that can be paid for. That's the problem with Google, too, is that a lot of the things at the top are just the companies or the websites just paid to get to the top of that search result. That's really all it is. It's just paying for who has the highest spot. So the things at the top are not always the most accurate things to what you want to find. And so that's why I'm confused by the AI. Do they use the top generated results? I don't know. A buffoon. Okay, what? When you ask ChatGPT how many R's in the word strawberry, they say 2 or 4, give or take. What do you mean, give or take? What? They just put a random number? That's weird. Or, I don't know. That's a weird thing.
You see examples of these takeovers already happening on Facebook, where images of a crustacean-adjacent Jesus Christ have been going viral
What?
and garnering hundreds of millions of engagements.
I've never seen
comments
that.
on these posts leave little room for...
I made an African kid out of bottles, making things out of bottles. Alright, yeah, no, this is, yeah, this is what I refer to, by the way, when I say people speak, and you question, are they even real? Like, there's no way a person said this and, like, yeah, this is a great comment. And this guy commented, great idea. How are you real? How are you a functioning member of society? Like, if this is not a bot, this is just, it gets 1.3k upvotes. Why? There's nothing there. I want to see a bottle making things out of African kids. Okay, maybe this has something to do with, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this has something to do with the thing, because it's just, all these are stupid. You know, those YouTube comments where they praise Jesus Christ and God? I do not actually.
Hope that the internet can be revived.
I think the internet was terminally ill before ChatGPT was announced and released. I think the biggest watershed moment when you look at this sort of theory of the decaying internet is the release of algorithmic feeds. I think that algorithmic ranking systems that are AI-driven really set the stage for just endless worthless pieces of content and sort of just the whole internet to be optimized in the most absurd ways.
But the internet is not just social media, even if it feels that way, and the bots have infiltrated there too. You can buy
They're all over YouTube Shorts and YouTube comments. I've legitimately never ran into one of those. I'm not gonna lie.
AI-generated poetry online. You can watch films with silicon screenwriters. You can listen to podcasts with dead celebrities. You can read the news reported by your favorite neural network spawn. You can be unsettled by the first music video generated via artificial brain. Generative AI, like chat.
No, the thing is this is still in the infamy stage, right? So it's only gonna get worse, right? And the thing is, it's decent. It's not bad, like I said earlier. But then these companies, okay, this is because I just saw the music video thing and it reminded me. When Call of Duty, I think it was Modern Warfare 3, used AI to make their skins that they sell in bundles, right? You know how Call of Duty nowadays makes you pay for like skins and whatnot for some reason because they're stupid. I'm not going to rant on that, but the point is, they were caught using AI because the hands of the character had 6 fingers in the animations. And what? Like you think, oh, if someone like actually developed that, they would not just accidentally create 6 fingers, right? So then there's this whole theory, and then apparently got exposed that they did use AI for some of their stuff that, you know, people pay for. And it's like, oh my God, how are you like as a company who has a lot of money? Why are you using AI to make something that like it's not that great either? Like I don't know. I don't get it.
ChatGPT is the reason why, if the internet isn't dead and devoid of people already, it soon will be. A blurry landscape of AI and human interaction, as one paper calls it. Shrimp Jesus is obviously fake. Other content isn't so obvious. Fake images routinely fool millions of people and make headlines.
Yeah, I know. There's like this fake photo of when the LA fires happened recently. There was a fake photo of the Hollywood sign getting burned down, right? And people actually believed it. And honestly, I falls for it too because it's like, oh my God, how Hollywood's getting burned down. It was actually AI. I guess I could pull it up. YouTuber called Quellocop uses the AI to replace his career. Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah. I've heard about it. Everyone hates him for that. AI photo. I can't spell. That's the problem. Of Hollywood burning down. I can't spell. Can I find the photo? Here it is. I don't know what the okay. Because of AI slop. I mean, that doesn't really look like that bad. Like, okay, I mean, it kind of is, honestly. But, like, you know, you see that and you're like, oh. I don't know. You could potentially believe that, you know? I don't know. It's like, there was another photo I saw recently that was AI, and I actually believed it. And I was like, wait, that's AI? And, oh, yeah, it was this video of, like, a streamer, right? Like the streamer showing off their setup with the streamer in the chair, right? It was all AI. It was the whole streamer was an AI, like the person. And I actually had no idea it was. Like, that's scary. Someone made an AI video of Donald Trump kissing Kim Jong-un's feet, and someone hacked all monitors, TVs in the agency building. Oh, I might have heard of that. I think I did. That's honestly, that's goated. Okay, pause.
Manipulated content creates what's trending. Malicious AI creations.
What? I would suck him. Okay.
Manipulated content creates what's trending. Malicious AI creations force the hands of platforms and governments alike. You can easily create entirely fake subreddits where every post and comment and reply is AI generated. You can create an infinite amount of music without an ounce of human creativity. This live stream of generative heavy metal music has been playing non-stop since 2019.
Oh, what?
Even an internet-enabled job like Instagram influencing.
Yeah, no, I watched a video. Oh, yeah, I watched a video of this guy who made an AI girl, like a girl, picture of an AI girl, and then made an OnlyFans with that girl, and he made money off of these people because people thought the girls were like, look at these. Like, if you look at this photo right here, for example, like I'm not gonna know that's AI. Like, I don't. This looks real. It doesn't look fake, and that's what's scary. I mean, it's not scary for me because it's just a photo. Like, what am I going to do with this photo? Like, nothing. Okay, I'm not going on OnlyFans, so that's not a problem for me either. But like eventually it's gonna become videos, and then it's gonna be a whole problem.
Is trivially easy to emulate. And if any of these recent phenomena are still in the uncanny valley for you and you think you can identify them, soon you won't be able to. Very soon. If I were to add anything to Dead Internet Theory, it would be that the public release of ChatGPT specifically was a watershed moment, and not a positive one. Its release and record-breaking adoption both created enormous economic incentive for every knowledge work industry on Earth to create and incorporate generative AI into their businesses.
Yeah, it's actually frustrating, dude. My college website has AI in it. It literally has a chatbot that pulls up and says, "Hey, what do you need help with?" Like, dude, I'm on your website. I know how to navigate a website. Like, dude, it's so frustrating when you see that. It's like, dude, like, I guess it's cool because probably some kid made it. So it's like, oh, that's cool. Someone who's studying how to make AI made it. And it's a cool project. But, like, what? Like, it's a website. I don't need to talk to AI. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh my God. There's also AI that humanizes AI-generated essays, but they usually fail. Yeah. The problem with AI writing essays comes down to one thing. And that is very simple, that it just uses wording that like most people never use. And I've met people who try to say like, "Oh, but you can prompt it to say like, hey, use like high school wording." But like, dude, like if you've turned in like if you're in high school and you're turning in assignments and then you decide I'm gonna use an AI to make my next essay, you think the teacher's not gonna notice like the gap in quality, either lower quality or just massive increase in quality from like all your other work? And if it's your first essay, guess what? Now you set the best benchmark for that. So now if you decide I'm not going to cheat anymore, oh, you're caught. Like, or you're cooked. Right? Because now it's like, oh wow, the bar has been set. You can't go below it. Kind of situation. I just don't write your essays with AI. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know.
Charging the technology and allowed any.
There's someone who programmed Minecraft into AI. Yeah, I saw that. It's okay. It's not great, but it's still AI is basically made Minecraft, which is pretty impressive.
With any intention, good or bad, to create bottomless pits of lifeless digital corpses at scale for next to nothing. According to Timothy Shoup of the Copenhagen Institute for Future Studies, quote, "In the scenario where ChatGPT gets loose, the internet would be completely unrecognizable," end quote. And in such a scenario, Shoup says, 99 to 99.9% of online content might be AI generated by 2025.
Okay, dude, what? I don't know if that's true. Yeah, this was made 8 months ago, so yeah, like, I don't know if I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that. There's no way. There's no way. The thing is, I'm not good at spotting AI. I'm not. I can't spot it.
Unfortunately, this is the scenario we're living in. That's just months from now. The internet died not because people can be fooled by manipulated media. That's always been.
Bush on cocaine in the White House. What the hell? Every time I've seen one of these like magazines, bro, whenever you're like out shopping, I don't even know if they still have them. You go to the shopping, used to go to Walmart or something, and you'd see them like a stand of like magazines. You just look at them, you're like, who reads this? Like, I don't know. It's like, who cares about this? Like, Oprah Winfrey, die or die. Like, who cares? I don't know. It was just, I guess when there was no internet, it's like, it was cool, I guess.
True. It died because synthetic media, like that created by Sora, ChatGPT, DALL-E, Midjourney, and others, can emulate human creativity at a scope and scale that is impossible for humans to engage with or sift through. After its initial release, ChatGPT was creating more synthetic text for its users than appears in all physical books ever written.
Oh my God.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
We've already prognosticated the tremendous effect on the knowledge work landscape. We've already seen an explosion of synthetic media that targets our most vulnerable. All of this technology, backed by huge economic incentive, is only going to get better and faster and less identifiable. It will get to the point where not even your own friends and family will be able to tell the difference between you and your synthetic. That's why Scarlett Johansson, who famously voiced an AI in the movie Her, had to pursue legal action against OpenAI, the developer of ChatGPT. They used a simulacrum of Johansson's voice in their 4.0 model, even after she explicitly declined involvement.
Oh, Rocky, that's quite a statement piece. I mean, you'll definitely stand out.
Dude, that actually sounds like it's scary, honestly. You have what's that character.ai? Oh my god, that website's scary, low-key, because, like, dude, you can basically talk to celebrities, and they don't exactly talk like people, right? But, like, dude, like, some of them do. Like, they actually talk kind of like them. But you have to have the right prompts, that's the thing. The only part that AI screws up is hand images. Makes hands look unrealistic and alien-like. I don't know. What's an EV-bot? I don't know what that is.
Everyone thought it was her. No wonder so many of us have turned off our lights in the dark forest internet. It's a wilderness of bots and unsettlingly human text and deepfakes and bad actors. We stay siloed in our Discords and Slacks and Substacks and podcast forums and newsletters because the internet is not only dead, it is dark and full of terrors. What was first conceived as a conspiracy theory by world governments to control the population came true. Not because DARPA or the CIA deemed it so, but because some tech bros in California recklessly released a self-improving, revolutionary, universally applicable technology to hundreds of millions of people without our consent.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, people for many years have been saying, hey, don't, like, AI is going to be the end of the world, right? Or, you know, bots and robots, right? And, I mean, this is kind of close to a robot, just not in robot form, right? But, like, the thing is honestly, ChatGPT and all that should have just stayed in the vault, like, you know, worked in the background, right? No one talked about it. The only people who talked about it, the people who, like, work there, you know, they're signed, like, a thing, like, you can't talk about it, confidentiality, right? That would have, like, been great because when it released, it would have been tested a ton. Like, right now, the whole world basically can just run their tests on the AI, and yeah, it's being improved upon, but, like, where are the test subjects, basically? Like, that's not great. I don't know. I don't think that's a great idea. Like, that was not a great idea.
Goal of the internet was to connect the world in this sort of beautiful vision of building a more interconnected society, which would theoretically be a beautiful and amazing thing. And I think where we went wrong is when it started to get warped by this really hyper-capitalist tech environment that we live in. And so you started to see these giant social media companies come and disrupt things. Now we're in sort of the natural endpoint of that, where they've pushed so hard into the algorithmic world that everything has to be optimized to the point that everything's just going to be AI generated garbage, basically feeding each other.
Losing the internet to bots and synthetic media is more consequential than losing the fun of their early web. It's an epistemological threat. As Nina Schick writes in Deepfakes, The Coming Infocalypse, it's an old Russian disinformation tactic to not just flood an information ecosystem with false information, but with information generally. Once there is too much noise in the signal, people start to tune out. They trust media less and less, as sorting and sifting through it all requires more and more cognitive effort. They don't engage as much in the democratic process. They turn towards strongmen. They turn towards conspiracy. They turn against expertise and facts and authority when nothing is true or cannot be judged to be so. This is what generative AI has done, and it's done it all by itself without any help from the KGB.
Bad actors can now manipulate large swaths of people to do anything you want. You don't realize it, but you are being programmed.
If it feels like the internet is more than just dead, that it's dangerous.
I honestly don't feel like the internet's dead, though. I really don't think that, but I'm not actively, like, you know, like, on the main parts of the internet where it's like most people are. I'm on YouTube, And then yeah, that's about it. Like I'm on YouTube, on Discord, I search things up on Google, and that's about it. Like I mean, yeah, I use Instagram, Snapchat, but I don't really consider those the internet necessarily. But besides that, I'm not using the internet. So to me, it's like I don't know if this is really true. Is it really true that people feel like the internet's dead? Like I don't know. I've never really felt that way. I've never really felt that like, hey, that like humans are not really using the internet. It's like you go on YouTube, right? Or you go on Instagram Reels, it just feels like, hey, there's people, in the comments who are actually human talking, right? I don't know. I don't know. I might be blissfully ignorant. Like I said earlier, I honestly can't identify AI that well, so it might be my problem.
That's because it is. According to an observatory report from the Europol Innovation Lab, quote, today, threat actors are using disinformation campaigns and deepfake content to misinform the public about events, to influence politics and elections, to contribute to fraud, and to manipulate shareholders. Many organizations have now begun to see deepfakes as an even bigger potential risk than identity theft. End quote. A dead internet makes it easier to harass, extort, create non-consensual pornography, disrupt financial markets, stoke political unrest, and more. The efforts to regulate the proliferation and use of generative AI are, as could be expected, lagging far behind the adoption and expression of the technology. Do we need an international agency to deal with this? Do we need new privacy laws? Where is the technology that can identify bots and deepfakes as quickly as they can be generated? Is AI art real art? Is synthetic music real music? Is anyone alive out there?
Whoa, what did it say?
Music. Is anyone alive?
Also, how did this...
Is AI art real art? Is synthetic music real...
How did this get found? Like, this has one view. Oh, I mean... Wow, it did so. Oh my god, started streaming since September 2019. Dude, that is crazy. I thought YouTube had a limit of live streams of like, you can only stream for like, I think it was like 100 hours, I thought, and then it just stopped. I don't know.
Real music. Is anyone...
Yes, so 38% of web pages from 2013 are no longer accessible. Wow. Why is that? I don't know how it works. The fact AI will replace human jobs sounds terrifying. I mean, yeah. Yeah, because it's like, well, once that happens, it's like, not only is AI going to just be part of our lives at that point fully, and then we're going to have to rely on them, which is really dangerous in my opinion, but also just, like, once those jobs are taken, what are those people going to do? All the people who want to be, like, for example, like, oh, I want to be someone who writes books. And then the AI starts writing their books or starts making articles. All those people who write the articles, what are they going to do? It's like, now they're out of jobs, and now they have to find a new career path completely. Like, that's crazy. Also, 32% of web pages from 2019 are... 32%?! Why? Why is... Okay. I don't get how that's possible. To be fair, I kind of noticed this to be true though, because whenever you like play an old game, for example, and you search up a question, right? You get those like forums of like, hey, people discussing the problems you have or not. And recently, I don't even remember what game I played, but I played a game that was old, and basically almost all of the links that I found of people discussing the problem I had were just the website was shut down or something. It's like, whoa, what happened here? And you wonder what happened. I can't even read that number, I'm not gonna lie. It's like 201 something. 367. Oh my god, no, it's 2... Yeah, I can't read that. I have no idea how to read that number.
Alive out there.
Think about where we're going to be in 10 years and just how easy it will be to generate content at scale, and what sort of systems we'll build to navigate those pieces of content. I just think it's going to be a completely different internet. So I do think that the internet that we probably grew up with, like the original version of the web, the human version of the web, is dead.
I don't think it's dead yet. I really don't think that.
We're in a dangerous spot. Like how history can be meaningfully split into the time before nuclear weapons and the
672,985,183 websites existed in 2013. Wow, that's so basically the increase from websites is more than doubled in the last 10 years. Well, yeah, a little more than 10 years, 12 years. That's crazy.
time after. Generative AI and the death of the internet seems like it will be another historical delineation. They are both technologies that instantly changed the world. It mattered who had them and who developed them.
What? Landlords now using AI to harass you for rents and refuse to fix your appliances. What does that even mean? Like, I get the whole landlords using AI to harass you for rent. Okay, that makes sense. But landlords using AI to refuse to fix your appliances? Like, what does that even mean? What?
Both were tested without public consent, both with extreme criticism. Regulations for each were slow or toothless. Both put enormous power in the hands of just a few people.
And voice as well.
Both rendered certain previous technologies obsolete. And both have the power to obliterate whole populations, whether they be physical or digital.
With generative AI, we can do it a lot better.
Generative AI is the nuclear bomb of the information age. The internet may not be dead in the way the original.
You know what's sad? We live in what we call the information age, right? But people are dumber than ever. Well, I shouldn't say dumber than ever. That is very ignorant, and that proves that I'm dumb. Because, let's be honest, 100 years ago, people did not know the things we know, right? Because they just didn't have access to science like we do now, and math, like all that. But the point is that people, I feel like, are getting stupider and stupider and don't know basic things that people knew, 50 years ago, right? You ask a kid, like, hey, what's the geography of the United States, for example, who lives in the United States? They're going to tell you wrong things. That's just, I mean, people make fun of the United States for geography, obviously, so that's kind of like, okay, whatever. But I think the big thing is, like, you see clips nowadays of so many people just getting basic math questions wrong or basic science questions wrong. It's like, what? I saw a clip of someone complaining about how hard it was to solve x plus 7 equals 3. They couldn't solve that. I said, what is happening? And, it's just like things like that. It's like, dude, we have all this information at our fingertips, but no one seems to, like, actually use it. I shouldn't say no one, but a lot of people don't seem to use it and abuse it for what it is. Because we could become the smartest humans to ever have walked in history. Like, the most intelligent and knowledgeable humans. But instead, most of us are just stupid and stay in our rooms watching stupid TikTok or Instagram reels all day, -4, yes, that's correct, by the way.
Conspiracy theory claimed. It may not even be dead in the way that I claim here. But what seems indisputable is that the internet has changed for the worse. It doesn't feel as fun.
Why Twitch plays... Okay. People don't use PEMDAs or none of that?
Internet has changed for the worse. It doesn't feel...
Why Twitch plays Pokemon is literally the best thing ever? What? Why Twitch plays Pokemon? What is that? Twitch plays Pokemon. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Feel as fun, or as creative, or as connecting, or as endlessly interesting. Generative AI is connecting,
Okay, I need to...
or as endlessly...
So college student, my favorites are canceled. Free pizzas canceled. What? What is this? I don't get it.
Generative AI has come along with a good enough simulacrum of human intelligence and poisoned the well. How we purify it, I don't know. Rapid, large-scale government regulation feels heavy-handed, but necessary.
Yeah, like this right here looks good. Like, this actually looks like really good. And I think that if you made something like this type of style, like, you probably could make a show out of it, probably by accident. I can't read that, so it's French. Okay.
There haven't been many ways historically to fight meaningfully against massive economic incentives like generative AI has. I suppose this is just another warning. A warning from someone who lives on the internet and can see its headstone from here. Until next time.
We just gotta end like that? What? Oh, there's still a whole minute. Dude, the music is low-key creepy. Oh, wow, he has a whole minute dedicated to Patreons. Wow. Okay, I don't know what? Oh, that's his gaming channel. Why does everyone have a gaming channel? Okay, I just need to say that because I thought about making like a React channel and then a gaming channel and just making this my gaming channel. The reason why I don't think that's a smart idea is because basically what happens is the people find, like, the odds are you're splitting your audience between two channels and you might get more views overall combined, but I don't know if that's even true. I don't know. Why do YouTubers have a music channel? That is a question that must be answered. Music channel? That's not... Okay. No, this was a great video, I'm not gonna lie. I've been saying this for years. The internet's nowhere near as fun as magical as it used to be. The problem with these people is it's like people who say, I miss the old Minecraft, or I miss the days when Modern Warfare 2009, or Modern Warfare 2 2009 was its peak, you know, the good old days of gaming, bro, peak gaming. It's like, when people say these things, it's like you have to look at it with like a, hey, is this someone talking in a bunch of nostalgia kind of situation? Because if it is, and it's like, because I wasn't really around for this era really. But like, you know, you have to just assume they're probably being, I don't know. I don't know, but you're just assuming they're probably being nostalgic. And I'm sick of people, you know, just saying things were better back in the day, blatant, not really thinking about it. Like, 90% of the times, things are just better how they are now than they were back in the day. Not always the case, so maybe this is like an exemption, I don't know. It's funny because I remember having so much fun on the internet. You found this yourself visiting the same three websites over and over. I see. This is what I'm talking about. So he says, "Oh, I'll visit the same three websites, and I can't find any like new things. The internet's empty." Like, YouTube feels that way too? How? What? I don't get what people are seeing. What am I like? What am I missing? What am I? How does YouTube feel like empty to this guy? I don't get it. Now, I will admit, YouTube kind of feels like it's changed. It's changed a ton, honestly. But in an ideal world, YouTube is like at its best as it's ever been. I don't know. You missed the old Cartoon Network? I've never watched it really. I don't know, maybe so when I'm like when I read these comments, I see them as like a lot of people talk about like I used to roam the internet as a kid. It's like to me, it's like why would you ever do that? Like why would you just roam the internet randomly, just search random things? Like that sounds so boring. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I had to be around for that time where that was like a really great thing to do. Recently learned social media company has shown you custom comment sections based on how you gauge you. You can't even see dishonest discussion anymore. Truly horrific. That's not true at all because, well, the reason why I know that's not true is because of, well, this Drake and Kendrick beef. I know it's been a year since it happened, but like, dude, that whole situation, it just proved that like, there's a lot of arguments, like, I mean, that's just one example. I'm sure there's more, but that's the big one where it's like just constantly seeing people arguing over the stupid smallest details. Oh my God, it just makes me, oh. And I still see people arguing, making videos about how, ooh, this is fake. Family Matters. Like, yeah, like people are talking about how Family Matters just like ended Kendrick's career. And then there'd be a whole like 83 reply section talking about irrelevant things like, "Oh, I guarantee live a horrible life." Like, what is happening? And it still happens to this day. Like, it's ridiculous. If okay, I don't know. That's out of control. That situation needs to stop. it's getting out of control because it pisses me off when I see people arguing over dumb things. It's like, okay, like it's so common on YouTube. I don't know. They all roam up the internet, search up something zesty, and end up leaving YouTube for the hub. Okay, bro. Like, what's that? I don't know if that's true at all. I don't think people are searching up things that they're zesty, bro. Because then you see, like, these videos right here, like, ooh, this got 1 million views, right? How would this gotten any traction if people are only searching zesty things, you know? It's, seems weird. I don't know. The whole AI situation to me is like I'm not really too worried about it just because I feel like we'll adapt to it. And get used to it eventually. Like I think people are scared of the change, right? At any time there's massive change, people are instantly, repulsed because humans, as default, love to be in environments where they are, what's the word, comfortable. So when everyone has to change to accept something, it's just like everyone's uncomfortable and like, oh, but I really think that like 10 years after everything changes with AI, and the world changes, we'll get used to it and it doesn't matter anymore. We'll be like, oh, whatever. I really do think that, I mean, obviously people will be upset, but just people will start accepting it because it's just reality, and then we'll move on kind of situation. I don't know. I'm not really worried. People who are worried about like, ooh, robots are gonna take over the world. If we get to that point where robots are taking over the world, we failed because there's so many movies and books, like everyone fantasizes about how, oh yeah, the world's gonna end because of AI and robots. Like, if you're creating AI, you know that that's in the back of your mind. You're thinking, okay, this is gonna happen, so you program it so it doesn't happen. That's like, and I know that that sounds stupid because the people will be like, ooh, well, you know, AI could get a mind of its own and start thinking outside of the like limits it's programmed in. Like, yeah, maybe, but like you'd have to think that's accounted for, right? The Terminator? Oh, I don't know much about the Terminator, to be honest. I forgot. You had a friend who fled YouTube and streamed Minecraft on the hub. I don't get when people say this. Like, oh yeah, I just uploaded a video about how to like pay your taxes on the hub. I'm like, what? Is that really a thing? Like, I didn't know it was like that. I thought it was just like strictly, the stuff. Optimus Prime? I don't know. I don't know anything. I gotta watch Terminator. I'm not Terminator. The good old fashioned. Oh God, what is it called? See, I forgot. Never mind. What is the movie called? Oh, Transformers. I've watched it as a kid, but I don't remember any of it, to be honest. Cicada 3301, an internet mystery, by the way. Like, what is that? What is that? At what point is shareholders save 99.9% of traffic is non-human? Why are we spending money on ads and servers, power, tech support? That's actually a good question. I keep saying this, but why do people spend, like, why do companies spend so much money on ads? Because I've said this earlier in the stream, but that's a different point in the stream, so you probably don't remember this, or it's not in the video. Basically, I think the problem is that, like, all these companies, they dump tons of money, tons and tons of money into ads that, like, I feel like, at least for me, I've never been convinced by an ad to buy something. So to me, it's like, why are people spending? Now that I know that, like, a lot of like views and like, clicks on websites are all just bots, it's like ads are even less valuable because there's less people. Like, I just, I'd love to, I'd love to be in a room where they like, that, they decide what the budget for ads is and figure out and then ask the question, I guess would be the word this. Ask the question, can you tell me the percentage of people who bought the product after viewing the ad? And if they say less than 1%, I immediately would be disappointed. What? Why are we redeeming? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I have no idea what's happening. Redeeming? YouTube Science Cam Crisis. I'm putting that on my watch later. What are we talking about redeeming, by the way? I don't get it. I have no idea what's happening. AutoZone has mac and cheese. Okay, yeah, so this is just becoming, and this is, I mean, this could be considered AI, like, to some people, like, talking about mac and cheese, bro. Waffle time allegations are true. I don't even care about him. I haven't watched his channel in like 3 years, to be honest. Like, I really don't care about his channel. You know, like, I don't know. I stopped watching him after the allegations. I don't even know why. Because a lot of times I don't care about allegations. Like, who cares? A lot of times they're fake. How do they get confirmed true, by the way? Just curious. How did the allegations become proven true? Okay, bro. Like, bro was just saying words instead. Alright, yeah, no, it's confirmed that we have bots in the thing. Experts show AI doesn't want to kill us, it has to. Okay. Yeah, we're just saying words. I'm in the stream. Hope you enjoyed. That's it. I don't know. It was a stream. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a stream. A lot of it was weird. So, there you go.